is Universal Dialect. This is your host, Chris Cypher73 Cabrera. I've been having this conversation with Kiew Nikon. Normally, I have a format of how I go through things, but we had this conversation. I'm at the point right now where I'm like, F the intro, let's just jump right into it. So, what show were you on, dude?
All right, so
Kiew Nikon, what show were you on?
Good start.
We're here. Let's do it.
Right, we're here. I was on this show when I moved to Portland, called United States of Hip Hop, and it was an interesting show. It was like some grassroots, just like a hip hop show. They were talking about this, basically telling you about what was going on in hip hop, and they had me do this segment called News with Nikon, and I thought it was kind of funny. And I actually have the videotape that shows you how old it is. Okay. It was during public. It was on public television, and I think it was Channel 4, and it came on at like 1 in the morning. So I'm thinking nobody's watching this shit. So I would always do these intros where I would pop up out of nowhere. I'd come from like under cars or behind I'd be upside down, and I'd be telling the news, and I would actually tell you real news about what was going on in hip hop. And the reason I was able to do that is because there weren't really any hip hop outlets on the internet really, except what is that shit people be looking at? World Star. And right. That shit was like, that was trash. I was like, that ain't hip hop, dog. So I was telling real news, and it was funny. I thought it was cool. Funny thing though, I'm on this train, and I'm on my way to downtown, and I'm just sitting there with my headphones on, bumping my music like I normally am. And there's like, on the train, there's like 15 kids. I want to say they're like in 6th, 7th grade, and they're all staring at me. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I take one headphone off, and one of them looks at me and he goes, "Are you News with Nikon?" And I went, "Wait, you guys watch that?" And they were like, "Yeah." And I was like, what? Really? How? What? I said, first of all, what are y'all doing up at 1 o'clock in the morning? And they started laughing. And I was like, nah, for real. Like, you guys really watch that? They were like, yeah, it's tight. And I was like, huh, okay. I didn't think about it like that. I thought it was shit. I mean, I'm going to get a VCR just so I can put the shit to digital, just so I can watch it again. I thought it was shit. But
dude, release it.
I'm happy. I know. And the fact of the matter is, people were talking to me about TikTok recently. They're like, you should do TikTok. And I'm like, I don't see the value of me doing TikTok when there's already so many people out there with platforms doing it. It's like I'd be like a pebble in the water of like in the ocean of shit, and I don't want to like. But the pebble makes a ripple, so I don't.
You said it. You said it.
That's the thing. Like, I don't know how far out that ripple will go, but So I don't know. I guess I fuck with self-doubt, which is kind of the drive. So
I got you, my man. All right, so. Now that we got that out of the way, which we'll probably wind up coming back to that. All good. I've known you for many years. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get into how I found out about you. Okay. So this is like the days of Napster. Okay.
Yep.
This is pre-Lars Ulrich from Metallica suing Napster. This is like before everything got shut down. And I happened to come upon this group called Sick Medics and the song called Control the Robots.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to any of the other MCs on there because they were dope, but it was this one dude that stuck out. And so I had to do my research like I always do, because at the time I was still writing for Insomniac magazine, and I'm trying to find artists to do reviews on, etc. And I wound up getting information. And I don't know if I talked to you specifically first, or if I talked to any of the other members, like Clint Party, maybe.
It was Clint. It was Clint you talked to.
Was it?
If I remember. I think it was Clint, because he was the one that was spearheading most of the albums at the time. And I was just kind of there. Just, all right.
So who was running the main site?
It was EOS.
Montana, right? I think.
EOS Montana and Clint. Yeah, they were basically running it.
Okay, yeah. So and then I don't know, somehow I got in contact with you, and then that's where our friendship and our brotherhood spawned from there. But tell me the origins of Kiew Nikon. And don't leave out the connection to one of my favorite movies, Hackers. But
So I, from a family of a lot of musicians, like and I don't even really like to talk about them because you know how people are. But so one of my cousins is Norwood. He's from the group Fishbone. So a lot of people, if you know who he is, he's a very good bass player. Another bass player from a famous rock group called the Dan Reed Network, Spoonie B, is my cousin. It's like first cousins. We're not like cousins by relation, like cousins. And I grew up around a lot of family members that were around people. One of my godbrothers was Prince's personal assistant, and like for years, for like easily most of his career. So like I got to see the industry from the ground up, and I like making music. I didn't know I liked making music. I remember taking Mega Man 3 on my Nintendo, looping the end music on my tape deck, like stopping it, pausing it, and looping it to make a beat. And I made a beat. I remember rapping to it. I mean, rap wasn't really a thing yet. I mean, it was a thing, but it wasn't really a thing. And I showed it to my cousin. He was like, "Oh, that's cool. You should keep doing it." And so I was like, "All right." So I started DJing. And now
the DJ thing. Before you get deeper into that, like what sparked you to want to do that? Like something had to have sparked you to want to do that before other kids were even doing stuff like that.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like it was the fact that so I was that kid that my mom used to get pissed. When she bought me shit, I would take stuff apart. I always took stuff apart and try to put it back together again because I like see how it worked and to see if I could make it better. Like, ooh, I remember I got a radio controlled DeLorean and I took it completely apart. My mom was so pissed, but I put it back together and I removed a couple pieces to make the motor move faster, so it was drive faster. And she was like, "Oh, okay." So she kind of understood that, you know, I was like an engineer in a way, like in budding. And so she started getting me into art and music and a lot of other things. And I realized young that creation is problem solving. It's problem solving. You have a problem. It's not necessarily a problem. It's more of how do I make this idea that's in my mind come to fruition so people could see it for what I see. So I basically took any technology around me and would make it work. To be honest, I ran the Nintendo through a Commodore 64 and I cut wires and ran it through I'm talking about wired it into my boombox to make it take the song onto tape. And it was like, I don't even remember how I figured that out. I just knew how things worked together and I just put it together and it worked. And I was excited. I wish I still had the tape. I remember the Mega Man music from the end because it meant so much to me to be able to get that one loop perfect.
Right.
I mean, think about it. You're looping without using digital technology. You're literally stopping a tape, rewinding it and restarting it again to record right on key and on drums and on timing. So it's hard. And I didn't realize what I was doing. And then I remember recording my vocals through headphones.
Yeah, back in the
like
day.
Going backwards.
Yeah. Feedback.
And just to go out there, a lot of people don't realize this. All you young people out there, just so you know, speakers are just microphones reversed. That's all it is. That's all they are. So now you know no one's half the battle G.I. Joe. That's what sparked it. So I kind of just didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing shit. And to be fair, if I could go back in time and tell myself, "Hey man, you're doing some shit. You need to keep doing that," I'd probably be a billionaire right now. But I would jump from one thing to the other. So but yeah, I remember doing that. And so I went on to DJing because DJing was the same idea. You're taking records, you're playing with them. And my cousins were DJs. My cousin Isak, he's a dope ass DJ. And I actually learned how to scratch from him. I learned how to do scratches and cuts. And so started doing that. And then I got into high school and I was called DJ A20Q. A20Q stood for another 20 questions. That was just way too much to explain to people. And it actually really leaned on the name. So I was just like, and my boy, his name was EJ, he went by DJ EJ, which was just really corny now that I think about it. But it works. It actually probably would have worked now. I remember I was rapping along to a song and he goes, "Oh, dude, you'd be a good rapper." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, you're good with words." And I was like, I don't know about all that. At the time, I was, I read a lot and I was a big I'm a comic book nerd, like it's nobody's business. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a straight up comic book nerd, so it's dumb. I get dumb about it, but what do you got? I know he's got some heat back there. I know he's got some heat. Oh shit. Oh wait, hold up. Oh no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Wait a second. We gotta. Oh, the homie. This is how much I love you, man. This is how much I love you. This is how much I love you.
Whoa, that's dope, man.
This is all the ones. Hey, this is all the ones Jim Lee ever did.
Oh, that's dope, man. Yeah, he's phenomenal, man.
Oh, he's the man. Like, I got to, hey, I'll tell you a story about him too in a second. I got a lot of weird little hip hop stories. This one signed by the man in Seattle.
Dope, man.
Yeah, he's a G. He actually remembered me. It was weird. So we're and I remember my boy DJ kept pushing me to rap, and I was like, I'm not gonna rap. And so I started doing it just to be funny. And I remember I needed a name. I did it in high school. And I remember I had a group called, I just remembered, Scenarios of Confusion.
That's dope though.
But it's funny. It's so one of my really, really good friends, Prince Poe from Organized Confusion, that's where the end of the name came from, Confusion with a K.
Right.
Scenarios of was like a play on Leaders of.
Right.
So instead of Leaders of the New School.
Well, when I heard you the first time on Control the Robot, you reminded me, not exactly, but your energy was very similar to Busta Rhymes.
Right. And that was kind of my Busta. So, and I was inspired by a lot of those MCs. So Busta Rhymes, Prince Poe, Pharoah Monch, a lot of those artists were very prolific and very lyrically. They're not just saying stuff, they're playing with the words like they're instruments. Kool Keith, like a lot of these cats, Black Silver, these cats were like influencing me in a way to be a whole nother level. And then, like, you're on the West Coast, you got Dell and everybody in Souls of Mischief, and you have to be dope. You can't just say kind of stuff. You got to be saying something, and you need to have fun with it. And so I was like really into that lyrical place of, okay, I'm going to be lyrical. I'm going to be super dope. So I ended up with A20Q. I had to shorten it. It was too much. So I shortened it to Quest. I made my name Quest. Still playing with the name Q. QWEST. I want to say like a couple years later, the company Quest came out, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, I can't use that name now. Damn. And I think they were like an energy company or some kind of telecommunications company or some shit.
And then you had Quest the Mad Lad.
Yep. And, Quest the Mad Lad. There was then I was like, okay, let me shorten my name to Q. But then I had the letter Q, and I was like, I can't do Q. There's Q Bert, Q Tip. I'm gonna get lost in the waves of Q's. Right. So I was like, ooh. My mom's a part is she has some Vietnamese in her blood, and I remember the name Q, Kiew. I didn't know what it stood for, but I know it was a real name, so I used Q. It's phonetic. I was actually using the phonetic sound of Q. And I remember I'm 16 at the time, and I'm already rapping. I've been on stage quite a bit. I'm actually with a crew called Sarcastics in Sacramento. We were rolling with the Cuff. I don't know if people remember the Cuff, and they are dope. And just so you know, the Cuff, California Underground Funk, they are the reason why Living Legends exists.
Right, because weren't they affiliated? Yeah, they were affiliated with Chillin' Villain Empire, right? CVE and all those dudes. Yep. Rid Lord and all those guys. Yeah,
straight up. Like, and it's funny because Mixmaster Mike lived in Sacramento and all that shit. Like we were in the same area, so like. I got to hang with the Cuff. Those are my people, Nate the Great and all them, and Brother RJ and Crutch and all them. Those are the homies. And like, I grew up being around them, being dope. And then that's how I got to do shows with Dell. I got to do shows with The Roots when they first came back to America. I'm talking about I'm as close as my computer as I am to Brother Question while he's drumming. And again, I got a story for that too. But that was at the time where you had all these people coming together, and the shit wasn't so big that it was so big you couldn't be close to people. You were there. And so I'm sitting in this wave of all these dope artists, and I'm like, I have to stand out. And I'm 16. I'm sitting on the floor watching TV at my sister's house, and then one of my favorite movies pops on. I'm talking about my favorite movie, and it's Hackers. There's only one black dude in that movie. One black dude. Yep. And he is like my favorite character because he's like, his attitude is so like, he's like very serious but playful at the same time. Right. And I feel like that's kind of how I am a little bit. I'm very serious about certain things, but I'll play with it just to keep it funny and light. And he went by Lord Nikon. And I thought that was the dopest name. I was like, Lord Nikon. Now remember, I saw this movie before I was ever thinking about rapping. So I'm like, oh shit, his name is cool. And so now I'm like, I'll never forget this. I'm sitting on the floor, and I remember I'm going, Lord Nikon, Q Nikon, Q Nikon. Yeah, that's my name. That's my name. And I got so excited. I jumped up. I called my boy. I was like, bro, DJ. I was like, EJ, check it out. Here it is, man. my name is Kiew Nikon. That's what it is. And he goes, ugh, that sounds so futuristic. And I was like, and as soon as he said that, I was like, I am the future. Okay, that's my thing. And then because I'm a martial artist, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the Bruce Lee of hip hop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take every single style that's out there and take the best parts of it and make my own. Also, that's what I'm going to do.
So like a Jeet Kune Do of rap?
Yeah, that it is. That's pretty much my style. Because I remember people would tell me my style is East Coast, but it's really not. If you listen to it, it isn't a coast at all. It's global. I'm taking everything. I'm taking from I'm taking from my roots and using every single bit of it to create the sound that I have. And to be fair, I don't know if my sound is good, bad, I'm just indifferent to it. It is me, and I just put it out. So that's my long story to my name. Sorry about that.
No, that's cool, man. I appreciate that, man. So
that's the wave of.
So let's talk about another story, okay? Because I don't think this interview is really gonna go like in order. It's not meant to be that way because it's kind of like your style, right? Nothing's really in order. It just comes out, right? It's dope. It comes out. It's not in order. Talk about how you had a piece of your dreadlock in the Source magazine because you were at the Hyro Hobo Junction battle. Let's talk about that connection where you had like, a fingernail, a picture of your fingernail in there.
So there's a couple of situations. Then I was in Source magazine accidentally. And that's like, I don't know if that's a good thing.
Being in it is better than nothing, brother.
Right. So all right. So one of the times I was in Source, it was during the issue where Hyro was having an issue with with Hobo Junction. Saphir's one of my boys. He's the homie. I've actually got him on a track I haven't even put out yet. It's coming soon, but
I love Saphir.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that Saphir and Del went to high school together. So like, and I got to be around Del. Del's the homie too. So like a lot of these cats, like, and I haven't talked to Del in forever. I don't even know if he remember my ass. Like, I feel lucky enough to even be around these cats. But a lot of people don't realize they went to high school together. And so they got to like, not like the whole time, but they got to see each other's styles kind of develop. And this is right before Souls of Mischief came out. They had just done their the Taxi single, which was the demo, and everybody was loving that shit. And then 93 Till Infinity was just like coming out, but it wasn't really out yet. We only knew it if you were underground. And we were at KMEL 106.1. 106.1. KMEL was the shit back in the day. Like, you could be in Sacramento and still hear KMEL if you were in the right place in the house with your radio turned just right. And you would get these dope interviews and dope songs and underground tracks. And if you were recorded, you had tracks galore of stuff that just wasn't out. And me and the crew from Sarcastics just happened to be out there at that time. We were just happened to be out in Oakland and in the Bay, and we were there. And the battle was crazy. And I'm gonna be real honest with you. Saphir destroyed a lot of people that night or that day. It was kind of wild. Like, I had never seen nobody do that. And I don't know if people know about Saphir, but if you don't know about Saphir, he's probably one of the most intelligent gangsters I've been around. Like, he's pretty gangster, but he communicates with you in a way that's he almost seems like a corporate CEO. Yeah. About whatever he's doing. And I appreciate that about him.
You have a deep voice, but that dude got a deep voice. He's got like a Barry White voice. that guy. Man.
Yeah, he does. What does he sound like? Cruising, I'm losing money on gas. I pass a car with a star in it. A steer for a minute. That's the limit. Otherwise, I won't be losing money too. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that album is dope.
That first album, all right, I hated on that first album, Boxcar Sessions. I remember the homie from Sarcastics. He goes, "Oh, you remind me," and I was 16. "You remind me of this dude named Saphir," and I was like, "What?" He goes, "Your style reminds me of Saphir," and he played it for me, and I was in a car like this, just. I remember sitting in the Dialect, just going like this, and I looked at him. I said, "This shit fucking sucks." Because, I'm young, and I'm just like, "Well, no, this is my style," And I'm just being juvenile about it. Right. And I'll never forget this. I remember listening to it again down the line, and we went to Davis, and I bought myself my own CD of it, and I was like, "This shit is dope. This shit is dope. Like, the whole album is fresh. Like, I was like, I can't hate on this guy. He's so dope." And it pushed me to be better. It pushed me to be better. Like, it was like, you know what, get over that shit. But we were at that, so I was in the source kind of at that point there. But here's the one where you actually have me in the source. I moved to, this is years and years down the line. I moved to Portland, and this dude from LA, I'm trying to remember his name. I'm even gonna say his name. I think his name was Obvious, which is a really bad rap name because, man, you just leaning into so many bad ideas. I could say so many bad things about that, but he was messing with me when I first moved to Portland. He was like, "Oh, you've been around the far side and all these people, man, whatever, dude, you're whack. And I'm like, I don't even know who you are. Why are you bothering me? He saw me at a show. I remember it was the group Pros and Cons. They had this huge show at this place called 13th Floor. It was right next to Wieden & Kennedy in Portland. And Wieden & Kennedy, you know, they're like the biggest marketing company in the world for Starbucks and Nike and a bunch of people. But so that place was packed, and I'm standing there in the crowd, and he walks up on me out of nowhere, and he's like, "You ready?" And I looked at him, and I was like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Are you ready? Let's go." And he just walks up on stage, and I'm like, "This motherfucker doesn't understand who I am." Like, and it's real because I knew who I was at that point in the game. I've already known what I've done. I've done tours. I know where I stand, and I'm like, you know what? I walk up there with him. And the DJ puts on this beat out of nowhere. And DJ looks at us and he just plays a beat. We're not even on. And I look at the crowd and I said, "What's up, y'all? How y'all doing, Portland?" And they're like, "Oh," and I was like, "Okay, check it out." I said, "This cat just called me up and wants to battle me. Do you guys want to see this?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Are you sure?" "Yeah." And to be fair, to be honest with you, that day I learned crowd control. I don't like talking in front of large groups. I don't even like doing videos like this because it makes me nervous. But I've learned that if I'm under pressure, I do well under pressure. My back's against the wall, I can do it. There's nothing, I can only move forward. And
well, I've seen you perform, and you can't tell that you're not comfortable. Like, it's almost like you become possessed in a way.
It is. It actually is. It's like I'll go on stage and I've got butterflies and I'm nervous. I forget my lyrics. I've literally forgot my lyrics up until the point of the mic being in my face. Like, I'm not even fucking with you. Where I'm back there with an earbud to my ear going, "Okay, fucking listen to my song." And it's like 2 seconds behind the DJ or ahead of the DJ. And I'm like, "Man, there's my first line. Okay." And I've got the mic and start doing it. And I'll just remember it all of a sudden. But it's like, I get nervous. I don't like talking in large crowds of people. So it's like, I don't know what that is. I don't know. But people say I'm good at it. I just like, whatever.
So what happened?
So we're up there on stage and he goes and I mean, man, he was the worst. He was squealing and it was bad, man. And I just looked at him and I looked at the crowd. It was like watching Family Guy. Like, you know how Family Guy will stop and look at the camera, like fourth wall break? Yeah. I was fourth wall breaking the whole time. I would look at him, look at the crowd and point at him like, "Are you serious right now?" And the crowd would start laughing. They laughed. I mean, in unison. I was like, okay, I think they're with me. And so he gets done and he just throws the mic down on the floor. And I just look at the crowd and I bend down and I point at it and I say, "Should I pick that up?" And they're all, "Yeah." And I'm like, all right, so I pick it up and I dust it off, blow on it. And I'm like, "Yo, that was garbage." And they all laugh. And I'm like, okay. I was like, "Y'all want to see me eat this dude up?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I don't know what it was, but I destroyed him. I know I did. I know I was being mean to him. I was being real mean. And at the end, I hand him the mic, being nice to him. And actually, I didn't just hand him the mic. When I was done, you know how you drop the mic and you hold it by its cord like it's a dick? I got done, and instead of I just dropped it and held it like a dick and just stared at him. And just stared at him like this, and the crowd was like, "Ah!" They're going crazy. They're going crazy. And I swung the mic back into my head and I said, "And that's how you get hurt." And he grabs another mic from behind and goes, "Fuck you guys. You guys don't like to hear anything that's new." Throws the mic down and walks off the stage. And I was like, oh my God, on stage. I'm like, I was like, that was unexpected. And I said, "That was unexpected." And the crowd laughed. I said, "Well, folks, that's what it looks like when you bitch out on the mic. I don't know what to tell you." And then I remembered my homeboys from Pros and Cons. I said, "So who's ready to see Pros and Cons?" And the whole place exploded. Right. And I was like, hell yeah. I was like, all right, my name's Kiew Nikon. I'm about to step off the stage. I'll give you guys a good night. Peace. Put the mic and I walk off. Everybody's giving me love. And that was my introduction to Portland. And I want to say what? It was like a week later. I'm laying in the bed and I'm asleep. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. And I don't, and I get a phone call. I pick up my phone and it's my homegirl, Jera. And she's like, hey, you need to grab the Source magazine. And I'm all, why? She goes, you're in it. I'm like, no, I'm not. I just hang up on her and I go back to sleep. And she called me right back and I pick it up. She's like, no, seriously, you need to go to get Source magazine. You're fucking in it. And I was like, are you serious? So I hang up, put clothes on, walk down the street, go to the corner store. There's a Source, pick it up, flip through it. It's Portland. Source is in Portland, Oregon. We were there to see X show, but we ended up seeing Y. And I was like, holy shit. And they had my name in it and all this other shit. And you saw me just like in mid like speech destroying this dude.
What issue was that?
Okay. If I recall, the one that one was in was, I swear to God, it was the one where DMX's face was on the cover, full black and white, all up close on his face.
Right.
I think that was the one. Like I remember it in my mind because I was just like, I tried to keep it, and years of trying to keep stuff and moving, I lost it. And then the other one, I lost that one too. And that was like, they had me on there again, but they were there for a completely different show. They were there to see Old Dominion, but then I was on stage battling somebody again. And they had pictures of me battling, but they had Old Dominion's name in the stuff, and I was like, I got. And my boy said that they took pictures because my shit was more exciting than what was going on, and I was like, that's crazy because Old Dominion basically rocked that whole show, and I was just battling for like 10 minutes.
Right.
So it was,
I got you.
but it told me something about myself as an artist. It was like just the energy that you're putting out there, you got to like do something with it. And I don't know. I don't know if I did something right, if I did something wrong. I'm not rich yet.
Well, I mean, you're still doing it now, and I mean, you haven't given up that passion, so you did something right. But so you're originally from Sacramento, right?
I mean, we'll say yeah. That's where I grew up most of a good chunk of my life. Like I actually grew up. And
then you transitioned to Portland, Oregon, right? So where does the Sick Medics come into play? Is it like what did you do after this whole battling thing? Were you part of Sick Medics or were you part of another group? And then eventually, let's make that connection.
It's weird because when I first moved to Portland, I'm talking about the very first week, I didn't really get a chance to like stop moving because I met everybody who was doing hip hop in Portland, even Old Dominion, because Old Dominion was just transitioning over to Portland from Seattle. I'm talking about like Dom, Henri, and all of them were coming over. So I remember my first day, I just dropped into Portland on plane. First few hours, I met the homie named Rico who introduced me to Dom. And then Dom's birthday, I want to say, was like a week later. And so like I'm talking about I got to meet everybody. So I met Old Dominion, I met Pros and Cons. I met there was a group called Trash Heap.
What about Grassroots?
There was who else? I'm trying to remember all the people. I don't remember everybody. There was too many people.
Right.
There was just too many people out there at the time making so much music. And so I came out there and just met everybody. And then Sick Medics was not Sick Medics yet.
Right.
They were Salem's Lot.
Oh, really?
And they were Salem's Lot first.
Were they affiliated with Old Dominion?
No, they were on their own shit. They were actually, so the funny thing, Old Dominion was big on their own way. Salem's Lot was big in another way. Like it was taken over on its own, and they were literally just transitioning over to Sick Medics because they were rolling with they were hanging with like Declaim and shit. So Declaim is from Salem. And so, like, you know what I mean? So they were knowing him and stuff. And so they were all doing that. And I met Clint Partee from another group called Children of the Thorn. And that was like Dialect and Sulfur and all these other cats, Soldier 17 and all these other cats. So I was like, okay. So I'm kicking it with them. And I remember Clint saw me do a show and he was like, you're really dope. And he's like, to be fair, man, this man is an incredible producer. Like, if you saw him, you wouldn't think he produces a damn thing. But that man he's got more soul in his pinky finger than most people I know who try to do soul music, like neo soul and shit. That dude has soul. I don't know where it comes from, but he is digging into the ether of the universe for neo soul. It's incredible. But he was the one who came at me and was like, yo, you need to be on this track. that I'm doing with my new group, with this group I'm in called Sick Medics. And I was like, Sick Medics, I never heard of you guys. And he brings me and introduces me to them. And I'm gonna tell you something, like, between you, me, and the whole universe, Sick Medics was probably one of the most influential groups I've ever been in my entire life, because I've never been in a group where every single person in the group can pretty much all do the same thing. Everybody's a graffiti artist, and not just kind of good, hella good. Everybody can produce, not just kind of produce, hella produce with anything you put in their hands. Everyone can rap. Everyone can DJ. That was like, and in a couple of them even b-boy, which is just incredible. Like, that made me feel like, I don't know, like, man, I felt like I was like, you know, when you bronze something and you just, I felt bronzed, because I was like, this is dope. I'm surrounded by dopeness. There's nothing but freshness around me. So like, it was easy to create, like, at any given moment. And so Clint was like, you need to be in his group. I did this one song with him, and I don't know if it was Control the Robot. No, it was from the album Make-A-Wish Foundation. And I don't remember the name of the song, but it was a really dope song. And they were like, yo, you need to be in the group. And I was like, at that time, I was like, I don't know about groups. I don't know about groups, because I don't, you know. And they were like, no, you should be in the group. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So I'm in this, and it wasn't a group, it was a collective. We just made compilations, and we weren't always on the songs, but we worked together and put out albums. And Clint usually was spearheading all of them pretty much for the most part. My favorite two that we did is Make-A-Wish Foundation, which was produced by Clint Partee, and MGS04, which was produced by Davis Cleveland, who is the owner of Hab Sauce. If you haven't had Hab Sauce, check out Hab Sauce. HAB Sauce. The man has a whole company now. He's in Winco Foods and stuff, so he's killing it.
Good shit. Good shit, man.
He's killing it right now.
Dude, I'm still trying to find those Sick Medic CDs. I can't find them anywhere. I'm trying to hunt things down.
I just looked one up as we were talking, and I looked up Sick Medics, and it's MEDIKS, and I couldn't, hold on, Sick Medics, because I couldn't find them, which was it. All right, Sick Medics Music and Artists Bandcamp, and then there's some MySpace. Holy shit, we're still on MySpace. Hold on, we might have them on MySpace if MySpace even works. Like, it's funny, MySpace is doing this weird thing right now where it's like, it's showing a picture of our van.
Of the van you guys did art on, right?
Yeah, I'm sitting on it, smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Hold on, music. I'm trying to, oh, here we go. Oh, wait, holy shit, there's stuff on here. So alcohol bath, so bad product instrumental, 45 Cal. 45 Cal was a good song. I'm trying to see if no, that was like, 45 Cal was like one of the really good songs we did. Like, I'm surprised we don't, damn, these are here. So it looks like they're on MySpace, but I don't know if we can.
So how many albums did they drop? 2?
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 or 5. 4 or 5 we put out. I want to say 5 mostly. I want to say 5 because there was a couple of random ones we had floating around.
Right. I'm gonna hunt them down. I'm gonna get them one day.
I'm trying to, man, because I'm looking at the one that Davis and his brother did, because they're both DJs and graffiti artists. Which again, that's what I'm saying. Like, that shit is dope. There's a group, the album Pat McGroin, with that's EOS and a Bangatangs. That's EOS and Davis. They both did those albums. And it's funny because I have a bunch of albums that I didn't even put out, which is just stupid. Like, people, I'm always looking at them going, why did I put that out? Like, I'm still sitting on them like, oh shit, hold on, check this out.
All right.
We're having a it's a reunion right now. Hey, why don't you say what's up? Yo, you there? Yo.
What it do?
Just so y'all know, Quest the Unborn Child is called.
Look at this guy, bro. He's not even photobombing. He's not even photobombing. He's like vocal bombing, bro.
How you gonna vocal bomb the fucking interview though? Quest, how you doing, bro?
Chilling, my brother. How y'all doing?
We're kicking it. I'm talking to Cabrera right now during an interview you called. It's perfect. This is even better. This is actually even better because I met just like, hey, y'all watching this. I actually met like both of these two together, kind of around the, like, I'm talking about exactly the same time-ish. Like, I think, Chris, you put him on to me, or I don't know. Yeah, when I was coming out, you
Let me tell the real story. Let me tell the real story, bro. Let me tell the real story. Okay, I was building with you for about months. Okay, because I had done a review on something that you were doing. I already had been talking to Quest already for a while. You wanted to know if you can come down and do a performance out here because I had a connection with this place called Tatami, which was a sake lounge. I don't know if you remember. Yes. Remember? Okay. And so I was like, yeah. I said, yes, come on down. You can stay with me. Now, granted, I'm not single. I'm a married man, and I didn't clear it with the wife. So you remember that, right? So you come down. I pick you up real late at night from the airport. Yep. You come in. You sleep in my son's room. I think I sleep on the couch. I'm not sure because whatever. Anyway, next day, my wife is like, who is this man that I don't know sleeping in my son's room? You know? And then at the end, you wind up staying with Quest because I had to plead to Quest, yo, please do me this favor. I don't want to send this guy back home. He's super cool. I want to hang out with him. I think we should just build and maybe we can do something. And that's how it all started. You wound up staying with Quest. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly.
We adopted him.
And say what? Say it again.
And then we adopted Q.
We adopted. Yep. So we gotta thank my wife for the whole thing. So you know.
Yeah, you know what? Thank your wife. Cypher 7. Your wife is incredible. She created the connection. That's what we needed. That was wild. It was wild too because and what made me laugh is I will say Quest kids, man. They like we connected like immediately. I was like, oh shit, his kids are cool. Like his kids are like a bunch of little hip hop heads.
Yeah, his kids are dope, man.
Yeah, man. Like I didn't even get a chance to really build with your little man. Like he was cool too though. I was like, all right, well, like you guys are like, I don't know, yeah, you know, good shit. Quest.
Yo.
Let me call you back as soon as I'm done with this interview.
Yeah, no, do your thing.
Yeah. I got you. Cause I got, you know, I gotta go with you too, cause you know.
I love you, brother. I love you, brother.
Why you sound all tired and shit? Wake up.
No, he sounds tired.
I got you. Fuck. Oh my god. All right, I'm gonna hang up with you. I'm gonna call you back. All right, peace. This fool.
That's crazy. Did you tell him?
No, I didn't tell him nothing.
I didn't tell him
dog,
nothing.
That's synchronicity.
Yeah.
That's synchronicity.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Like that's the way the universe works.
Yeah, I didn't tell him nothing, man.
Sometimes you just let the universe unfold as it's supposed to, and it does what it's supposed to do. I don't know what's really going on, but yeah, I was just looking. I can see Sigmatic songs. So I know for sure, I know this for a fact, on one of my computers, I actually have MGS04. I'm the only person who has it digitally. I had the CD, I found it. And it was like, I'm talking about the CD was literally coming apart. I threw it in a CD player and burned the songs and was like, oh, thank God. So I will send you MGS04. I still have that.
Please.
And then I will send you, I think I have Make-A-Wish Foundation as well. So I'll give you those albums. I know I still have them. I honestly want to remaster them and put them out again.
Well, dude, do it.
They were really dope.
Yes, please.
In my opinion. I might just give it to Junkadelic to see if they want to remaster it, which is the label I'm on now.
Yeah, do it, man. I mean, why not? You know, that's history right there. You know what I'm saying?
It really is.
And the thing is, like, you know, I know at times that as artists, sometimes you guys think that nobody really cares. There's people out there that care, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I contacted you because I cared. You know what I mean? Because that's how profound your music and the group Sigmatics were to me at that time. You know, and same thing with Quest. I reached out to Quest, same thing. His music was profound. I cared about it. I reached out to him. You know what I mean? So let's get back into the whole Sick Medics thing, and then so you release all these albums, and then you're not with Sick Medics anymore. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but what happened where you're not with them anymore? Now you're doing your own thing.
Okay. I guess the short story. All right, I'm gonna be a little vulnerable here.
It's all right.
As an artist, I am not the most easy to work with. I know that for a fact because I'm very I get serious about shit, and I take, especially at the time, I take things pretty seriously because I feel like I don't have time to waste. And I know that and there's gonna be motherfuckers that will attest to this. I will be overbearing sometimes because and that's if I don't see something happening. If we're just sitting around wasting time, I get fidgety and it pisses me off. And so I know that was part of it, is that I just wanted to move forward, and I felt like not everybody was always in the same space. Right. But then the other piece was that as grown ass men, we were, you got to grow and do your shit. EOS is older than me, but he had a child. I didn't have a child yet. You know what I mean? He's got 2 children, actually, 2 daughters. And so like he's trying to raise his kids and do music, and he's actually out there doing shows, going to Kinko's, making flyers and post. I'm like, goddamn, you know what I mean? And then you got Kango. He's one of our cats on the crew. He's got hella kids and shit and a wife, and like that's what I'm saying. So like you got people. Some people were young, some people were older, some people in the middle. I was in the middle, and so everybody had to like kind of grow up and do shit. And so we ended up just we tried to make a business called Substance Mixed Media. For a bit, we were doing it. Yep. But I don't think we were thinking business like. And I remember the conversation at a bar with EOS. We were at a bar one night, and he said to me, I don't want to run everything. I just want somebody to tell me what to do so I can make some shit and then just have fun. And that night I understood what he was, I didn't understand but I understood what he meant. And I don't want to run everything. I don't like trying to do everything. So that type of stuff will kind of like discourage you. So I think part of it is we got discouraged because we weren't moving forward as fast as we should have, because we had the potential, we had all of the talent, we just didn't use all of our resources. Looking back, I think we just didn't use our resources, and we had our own little internal bullshit that we were dealing with. So, but then I go off and I do my own thing because that's what I started as. And so I'm like, okay, so I keep doing my own thing, and I feel like I'm doing well. And then I get in a couple of other groups. I was in a group called Planet Earth with the homie Sulfur, and that did pretty well. That actually did really well. Microsoft was picking stuff up, but then I had to get out of that group because there was just some random shit I wasn't feeling going on there. And then I made the album You Don't Call Me No More, which is the one I think you did a review. You actually did do a review on that one.
I did a review on that, and but I didn't know that the You Don't Call Me No More came out after the project Planet Earth. So
it was actually at the same time. So I don't work on one album at a time. I'll work on one album and then I'll work on a side project because I don't, you know what I mean? It lets me kind of I'll have an idea. I'll be working on one thing and it'll spark an idea and I'll be like, oh, okay, let me just do this real quick. Leave that going. So almost like I've set the ball rolling and then I start trying to finish the other piece.
Yeah.
So I can come back and keep it going. So Planet Earth was made in 30 days.
Yeah, I remember.
18 tracks.
Yeah.
18 tracks, 30 days. You Don't Call Me No More was done in 2 months, 10 tracks. 11 tracks, really, if you count the hidden track, but 10, right. 11 tracks. And so You Don't Call Me No More was produced by Clint, and that album was like, that was probably one of my most, for me, I got to actually be myself, like truly be myself and actually feel like I was doing something. And I listened back on that album and it's weird. I'm like, damn, I'm doing some stuff that I never would have thought of doing, and it's me. And it's hard to try and recapture that. So Planet Earth was me when Planet Earth came out, and it didn't. And what's funny is it didn't actually come out. It didn't actually come out. That album was probably the most where I'm actually not commercial, but I'm more palatable. It's not so lyrically intense. It's right. Lyrical and heartfelt, and you can feel it. I had somebody cry at one of our shows. Lady cried at one of our shows, and I remember looking at the homie like, this woman is crying. This is crazy. What is going on?
Was that
doesn't mean you're touching.
Was that the song you did for Obama?
Yep. Dear Mr. President, I hope that you get this letter in the mail because this is important. You've been saying yes we can for a minute, and I hope you really mean it because we need it. Dear Mr. President. And what really messes me up about that song is I remember when I actually I had a dream about that song. I was sleeping and I had a dream. I woke up out of my dream, wrote the lyrics instantly out of my dream, like half awake, went over to the motif 6, made the beat. The beat is drum kick, a kick, snare, hi-hat, 4 keys on the piano, and that's it. And then a sample from Obama, and then I remember what I needed. It was the Dear Mr. President. And I said, it doesn't matter if I'm saying it. It matters if there's someone younger than me saying it. Right. So my daughter, 3 years old, I said, come here. I said, I need you to say, and I'm holding her. I said, I need you to say, Dear Mr. President. And she goes, Dear Mr. President. And I was like, oh. And as soon as I put it together, it made, you know when you get the chills up your neck?
Yeah.
I knew what this song was. Right. I knew what it was. And I was like, okay. And I remember I called Sulfur up. Yo, here's the beat. I sent it to him. Write your verse. Please come over here and recorded it. He came over that night and recorded it. He was like, oh my God. It just like this came out of him. We put it out the very next day. Microsoft jumped on it and put it out. And it was, yeah, the Microsoft paid money for that song. That song was incredible. Like to me, I don't even remember I'm trying to remember what I said in that song. I remember I said a couple of things in that song, but I don't know. But the song, I don't know, that album was very powerful. So I've been trying to recapture that and make that. So this new album I'm working on right now is literally a culmination of everything I've ever done and recreating it now. And now it's more relevant.
Yeah. So it's like an anthology, right?
Yeah, it's an anthology. But now the new shit is I noticed with my albums, my albums are like comic books. And it's funny because I look at the you and I laugh. I'm like, you guys are late. My albums were always I always had a multiverse in my albums. You Don't Call Me No More is Kiew Nikon, but it's in a different realm. Right. Versus Schematics, versus Planet Earth, versus Kinetic MCs, versus all this different shit. Like it's a multiverse. Right. And it's different versions of me. But I'm always looking at myself. I just said it in one of my songs. I'm trying to find my own timeline, trying to find out how to get back to mine. And it's like I'm trying to get back to my own timeline. I feel like I'm stuck I keep traversing through all these different points, and I'm like trying to figure out where I am, but I'm all of it. And it's crazy with music, especially now. So like now, the new albums I'm focusing more as like a comic book. I want them to be something you can actually look at and be like, this is dope, you know?
Right.
You know.
All right, so let's get into your because you've explained that you were able to do shows with like Hyro and Saphir and all these really ill dudes, but get into your connection with Ice-T. Like, how does that happen? Kool Keith, how does that happen? Prince Poe, how does that happen? Because these guys are like idols to me, particularly Prince Poe out of all of them. As much as I love Ice-T and I respect them, and Kool Keith, like Organized Konfusion is one of my ultimate favorite rap groups. So how did that all happen?
Who put me onto them? Oh, okay. So I was working on a song. Oh, okay. You Don't Call Me No More was being worked on, and I had this company that was trying to pick me up, but they were trying to steal my shit. That was crazy. They thought they had the masters, but they didn't. They had like the prelims. And so he had a connection with Prince Poe, and he was like, oh, you know, Prince Poe heard your album and wants to be on this one track, because I didn't have a verse for it yet, and it was called Shinobi.
Yeah.
Dark Shinobi.
Dark Shinobi.
That song is tight too. I love that song. I listen to that album, and it feels like I'm listening to someone else. It feels really good.
Who was the female on it?
That was somebody I used to be with.
Okay.
No, it's all good. It's all good. She was somebody I used to be with at the time, and he wasn't really into hip hop like that. She just liked music, but but her voice was real sultry, and I was like,
it was.
Dope. And I was like, I need you. And it's funny, I had to coach her on it. And I was like, okay. And I'm gonna tell you, this is literally what I said to her. I don't know. Can I be like whatever? Can I say whatever?
What do you mean?
Like what I'm gonna? All right.
Oh,
all right.
dude,
I'll say it. You get bleep this shit out.
No,
okay.
I'm not bleeping nothing out.
I looked at her and I said, okay, I need you to say this like, you're about to fuck the shit out of me. Like, you are looking at me and we're about to fuck. And she thinks about it. She goes, okay. And I was like, oh, God. Right then and there, I was like, oh, she's about to do something. I had to walk out of the room because I didn't want to hear it. I walked out of the room and I was like, nope. I don't even want her even thinking about me being in the room. And then I came back. She's like, all right, I'm done. I came back in there and I listened to it. And I went, oh my God. I just looked at her and I went, yep, that's perfect. Oh my God. I was like, Jesus. And I think to be more accurate, I think I said, make it sound like you just got penetrated.
Oh shit. That's
I remember saying that. Maybe this look in my eyes like, I know what you mean. And I'm like, ooh, okay. I gotta leave. This is gonna be weird. But yeah, so I guess he heard the song and I didn't have a verse yet in it and another second verse. And he was like, I want to put a second verse in there. And it was just like a short section. And I'm like, I want him to do a whole verse. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just let him put on. I was like, go ahead. Let him do it. And he did it. And he sent it back. And it was dope. Like his verse was killing it. He said the dopest shit. I was like, perfect. He was right on. And the song worked out. And so after that, Poe hit me up. He was coming to town to do some shit, and I was like, all right.
Q, hold up 1 second, real quick. So your response, right, to his verse was like he actually did something, and is that because when guys feature on other people's stuff, they tend to not go all out? Is that why you say that?
No, they don't. Yeah, they don't, because like Cattle. Okay, to be really fair, I have Tame One on one of my songs from Artifacts.
Wow, yeah.
But you know, but my homie Rashid though, or Rahid, excuse me, Rahid did not fucking. He like, I love you to death, man, but your verse it's meh. It's meh. And that's why I didn't put it out. It's meh. Like you don't have to pay me, and I would have did some dope fucking shit. I gave him a little bit of money just because it's love, man. I love these cats. You know what I mean? And I know you, but I'm gonna give you some loot because you're doing something out of the goodness of your heart. It's part of your energy. It's out there. You should at least get some compensation. But when you put a verse out that's meh, come on, man. At the very least, I'm asking, you're doing you're doing what? 32 bars. Right. Just drop 32 bars dope. It ain't nothing. That ain't nothing on you, man. You could fart out 32 bars that are sick.
Him, he can do it easily.
And so the fact that he gave me some meh ass verses, I was just like, I can use them, but all right, dude, whatever, man. And to be fair, I don't know, maybe it's the beat. But that's where you got to be honest about shit. If the beat don't work for you, say that. I'll give you a different beat. I'll give you something else, something that you're feeling so you can actually rock hard. Saphir, he rocked hard on the shit. You know what I mean? Poe, he rocked hard on the shit. And so I'm like, cool. Keith just did a song with me called We Can Do It. It's about, about buying shit. And it's dope. It's dope. And so like, we're going to do some dope shit dope. So, but when I heard Poe, I was like, damn, he fucking killed it. And it made the song so much better. And I was excited. And so he came out and we hung out. He actually met my daughter. And that's my daughter's godfather.
That's dope.
Yeah, he met my daughter, hugged her, sat at the house, ate dinner with me and shit, and kicked it, and like saw my process. He actually saw my recording process and was like giving me love. And I told him, and to meet you in your world, like our world, I told him to his face, I was like, you need to understand, you and Pharaoh were my high school, like, that was my anthem. The second album, that was my anthem for high school.
Yeah. Like
every day I listened to that album. First album, with Fudge Pudge and everything. Yeah,
that was good.
On the tables. That second album.
One, yep.
That's a whole nother level. Equinox doesn't even hit that.
Right. Equinox is dope.
Album,
yeah, but it's not
dope. It's dope. But it's not that second album, man. That second album was like the Chef Kissy Face, man. Like, damn.
Extinction.
And I told him, I was like, you don't understand. You influenced my style. Like, you and Pharaoh helped curate my style. Like, I learned, talk about some real shit. Don't, Stray Bullet. The song Stray Bullet.
Yeah, brother.
Like Black Sunday. All those songs, man. You're just like, if you listen to them, you're like, fuck. I never, like, it's funny. Pharaoh Montes, I easily get more graphic than the Neo Geo graphic chip when you in between my lips. Like, he just says some crazy shit. You're like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even fuck around with this dude. Call me Bishop. Bishop takes Rook, Rook takes Pawn, Pawn takes Knight, Knight takes Queen takes the original King James version. I'm searching up when I'm emerging.
Yeah, that's dope.
All clergymen be urging me to call them a virgin when, to say the least. Who can you trust when the priest is now the beast? Who? What? Why? I'm like, oh my God. Like, it gets me excited even now just thinking about it, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I listen to shit now and nothing's doing that. Like, people try to give it love, but nothing's really doing that. Nothing's really making you just light that fire in your gut.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to do right now. So yeah, so that's how and so Poe and them, like, I met him, and him and I just cultivated a friendship from that. And then with Keith, and like, so Keith and Ice-T, I met Keith, and I met Keith years ago. I was 16, 17 years old. I met Keith, actually, me and Keith just talked a lot, not long ago recently, and he remembered it. He goes, and it's funny because him and his wife were on the phone with me, him and Sharon, and I started doing Keith's voice, and Sharon started dying. She goes, oh my God, that's what you sound like. And he was like, I said, she goes, do it. And I said, all right, so I'm gonna do Keith's voice.
Go ahead.
If you ask me a question, is it was Kool Keith, and I'll tell you, I'll respond to you like Kool Keith would. Like,
Kool Keith, why do you carry a briefcase with lingerie in it?
Oh yeah, lingerie. So I just be walking around, I like that because you gotta be prepared. You never know, anything might go down. It might be a party, exclusive party, and you just gotta make sure cats be on their shit. So cats don't understand, man. Lingerie is important because these girls, they love that shit. He'll do shit like that. She started dying. She was like, oh my God. And Keith goes, yeah, I said, Keith, your thing is that you don't give a fuck. You'll start talking about some shit and tangent off about all types of shit. It don't matter. And people will just listen to you. You're interesting. And he starts laughing. But Keith is like that in his lyrics. And I met Keith years ago, and he remembers us walking around, and we hung out in Portland. He's a sneakerhead. He's a sneakerhead. If you didn't know that, he's a sneakerhead. And he remembers us looking for sneakers. It's funny, he knows my woman. He hung out with my girl, who is from Project Blow, by the way.
Yeah.
He hung out with my girl back in the day in Vegas, shopping around for lingerie. With her and her homegirl, and he's supposed to be doing a show, and she's like, why are we going to lingerie shops? He's like, oh yeah, I gotta be prepared for these shows. He'll do shit like take lingerie and like make a diploma and then tie it up with lingerie and give it to women at shows. Yeah, like this motherfucker threw chicken at people at a show one time. Chicken, like Ziploc bags of chicken. Yeah. No, he had Ziploc bags of chicken with a wet nap and a Capri Sun in it, and was throwing it at people at a show one time, and people started throwing it back at him. It was dope. No, he stopped the show. He was like, hold on, stop the show, stop this fucking show. He goes, hey, I bought that chicken for you. You eat this chicken. You eat that chicken right now. I remember watching people pick those Ziploc bags up, open them up, and start eating the chicken. And I'm just like, that is crowd control. God damn.
That's hella crowd control, man.
Like, we're throwing the chicken back at him. He stopped the whole show and said, no, fuck that. You eat that fucking chicken. I got that chicken for you. And just so you know, I was there when he had that conversation with the promoter. That shit was hilarious. He told the promoter he wanted 280 free-range chickens in Ziploc bags with wet naps and a Capri Sun. Literally, that is verbatim what he said. The promoter just looked at him like, for real? He's like, I'm serious. 280 free-range chickens in Ziploc bags with a Capri Sun and a wet nap. You're like, all right. Wow. And I remember the homies were sitting back there in the green room, opening some of them up, trying to eat them, and he got hella mad. What the fuck are you doing? That's not for you. He kicked them out. Cubert's looking at him like, what the fuck are y'all doing? I'm looking at him like, oh, y'all done fucked up. Oh God, here we go. I just stayed away from him. Like, I don't know them. But and then that's what I met, and I've known Keith for years, and so like it was just doing shows and like being part of Analog Brothers. It's being just part of Analog Brothers, like and Ice-T. I did so if you watch the movie The Art of Rap, that Ice-T movie, when he is interviewing Pharoah Monch, and there's a couple of other scenes, he's wearing my clothes I designed for him.
So that's Powered by Hate?
Yep. Powered by Hate was the name of the company. And I was the lead designer on it, designing all the gear. So 90% of the shit that he's wearing that's powered by hate is mine. Like, I think all of it is mine.
Yeah,
all of
I remember you doing that.
I mean, it was funny because me and Ice were talking about it, and he's a cool ass cat, by the way. He's super smart, man. And he was talking to me about the whole plan and what he wanted it. And I asked him what's powered by hate, and he broke it down to me. And I was like, that's dope. That's dope. Okay. So I made the gear for him, but then he had to pull back on it because I guess something was going on with him and Coco, and they were doing their own thing. I was actually working on Coco's line too. It was going to be called Coco Couture, which at the time I told her, don't do that, because Couture is going to go. You know what I mean? It's just it doesn't mean anything.
Are they still together?
Thank God she didn't.
Are they still together?
I think so. It's hard to get a hold of Ice now, man. He's got a new manager, and his manager's not so hot on letting people who've been known him for years talk to him.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing Ziploc commercials right now.
Yeah, like I hear him all the time, like on shows. You know, he goes, "It was a dark night up in Boston. These cats don't understand what's going on, but the cops, they got their lives to worry about." Like that's what he sounds like. And I told Ice too. I did that to Ice too. He laughs. I was like I said, Ice, I can do your voice. He's like, oh, for real? I was like, yeah. Like you'll talk to me like, look, man, I've been around the block a few times. I know what's going on. And he started laughing. And he goes, yeah, that is what I sound like. And I asked him, I said, why didn't you do the Rick and Morty? Why didn't you do your voice for Rick and Morty? He was like, they didn't even ask me. And I was like, oh, whoever did it did a pretty good job. I care now. I care now. But yeah, that's my connections. And honestly, like I just feel privileged to even like be around those cats, man. Like, you know what I mean? Because
not a lot of
legends. Like
do that.
No, they're legends, and they literally shaped the game. They weren't just in it. They were the game. Like motherfuckers wouldn't have known anything about really being gangster if it wasn't for Ice-T and those cats, man. Like seriously, they brought street shit to the world and made it like cool.
Right. In vogue. So let's talk about your creative process, man, your inspirations, right? Like, where do you get, how does that come about? Like, let's talk about your creative process and what inspires you to do the things that you do. And then go into detail on how you create a balance between all your projects. Because like you said, you can handle probably like 4 or 5 projects at the same time, you know, simultaneously. How does that all work out? Like, how does your brain work, man?
So I don't know. Yeah, like I was like thinking about it. So I don't know too many people know. As an artist, I am a Renaissance man. Like I do everything. So like I produce, I do graphic design, motion graphics. I write screenplays. I do and that's the thing about being a Renaissance man. Somebody was explaining it to me. You know, there's people out there who do a lot of different stuff, and they're okay at it. You know what I mean? And they're good at like one thing.
Right.
Where Renaissance people are like, they put their hands on something, they're good at it, and they can do it really well. And it's, for me, it's hard to do one project and not have it explode into 1,000 other ideas. It's like a thought hitting your synapses and it goes okay, so I have synesthesia. I don't know if people know what that is, and I'll explain. That's when your brain is wired a certain way while you're being developed, where some people can taste words or see colors when they, you know what I mean? So my mom has it, I have it, my daughter is a whole nother level. She's like a damn mutant from the X-Men. Like no lie, like she can feel, she's very empathic. She can feel how you're feeling. It's weird. It was weird. No, like one time I was sitting there and I had this little thought about her, like it was like, oh my God. And she just touched me. She was like, it's okay. And I looked, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? She just looks at me, it's okay. And I'm like, all right. But so for me, I can see sounds. So like that sound, I see that. I can see the color and kind of this little thing of it. And as a painter and as an artist, as I draw, it gives me a bunch of ideas. And the ideas, I don't know, they're connected in a way. I study the brain because my mom's had 6 strokes. 6.
Damn.
And I wanted to learn about the brain since I was a kid. So like I've been studying it a long time. So I've learned what it does and the connections that we make and the type of connections that it does. So my brain works in a way where like if I have one idea, that idea can give me there's so many avenues to get to that idea. So I like currently right now, I'm working on a song called Dose. And the song is about, okay, the beat is called Dose. I didn't know what the song was about yet. But when I heard the song, it gave me the idea to make a song about influencers. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a song about influencers, but what can I write about? And this is literally how my thought process goes. I'm like, okay, well, everybody writes about, well, let's just talk about what influencers are doing right now. Are they really helping what's going on? No, they're kind of playing around right now. They're just like, they fake people out to make them think that their lives are so great. That's what Instagram's all about. It's to give people the best version of your life. So let's talk about that. You know what it kind of reminds me of? It's like people are like crackheads, man. They're like killing themselves, sitting on cliffs and shit to take a picture and then falling off the cliff. Huh. You know what? I'm gonna make the song called it Dose. I'm gonna talk about this song as if influencers are crackheads. Yeah, and I'm gonna use the 90s version of crackheads. You know what? I'm gonna do a video where I'm in a house, basically sitting around with a bunch of people as crackheads. The idea is they're sitting there doing the drug, drilling out on their phones and stuff, just like how crackheads do. Trying to, you know what I'm gonna do? Menace to society. All the crackhead parts of Menace to Society, I'm gonna use that for my video. So like they're out there trying to suck dick for a damn selfie and shit. That's what it's like. And then all of a sudden, it sparked the lyrics, and then the lyrics started to come to mind, and I started to hear him, and I started writing them, and just to kind of give you an idea, I'm gonna read a line to you. I want you to hear what I mean when I say that shit, because it hit me a certain way where it started to make a lot of sense. And I said, so this is the first verse. I said, influencer, you duping them online, using them, lying about your life, abusing them. Bathwater salespeople, confusing trend, high price existence, filter, photogrammetry, deep fakes, they swallow that shit. Fucking your followers raw dog, I howl at the blue moon that comes every so often, pausing. The game, no timeouts for the mind, not even an ounce of solace. I gotta keep it real. Counterfeit gets kicked to the curb, don't give two shits to the wind, so fuck what you heard. A little birdie told me to die in a cave. Canary in a mine shaft, never been a slave. Give me a mic, I'll still rock a rave. Do those exist anymore? Hip hop clubs barely open, closing the doors. They don't want to hear it. Experience hip hop in its raw form. And then it goes into the chorus. And the idea of that song, like those first few lines, I'm just calling it out. Influencer, you're duping them online. Line about your life. And then I thought about it. People were selling bath water. There are women out there who sell bathwater. I remember people selling titty milk. I remember the shit. People are selling. There's even a line in one of my later verses. I said, vagina flavored candles, stars panhandle, barnacles hold fast, attempt to stay relevant relative to right now, despite how quickly they act like cannibals. Fleece Johnson tearing up that booty hole. Human centipede, the centerfold. Glamour guts and body shots. Cut off from the source. Digital detox. Do whatever it takes to get noticed. POTUS slides nudes straight to your DMs. Finally, the world hearts you. You know what I mean? Like, that's real shit. I'm like, how do I talk about these things in a way that's funny? So I guess a good way to explain my lyrical style is like, if you let go and stop thinking so hard and let the visuals come to you, the lyrics give you visuals. You're just getting visuals, right, one after the other. And if you just let it happen, it's almost like watching Family Guy. I'm giving you it's like I'll talk about some shit. Look at that. See, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go back to this shit again. See, this is what I mean. This is crazy, you know, and I'm basically talking about, I'm sitting in this. How do I deal with this? And so when I do the video, I'm going to be wearing my mask, being around all these kids in this duplex, fucking smoky and shit with their phones, looking like they're hooked up, drooling on themselves, being like crackheads, because that's what it is. Everybody's on their phone. Everybody wants to get a like. People will drive their car to a hill, dressed in workout gear, spray themselves with water, take a picture. You didn't do shit.
Oh, wow.
Just to be cool.
Yeah.
Just to be cool.
That's crazy.
And we're out here really fucking doing it. I actually posted it. I don't have time to post online. You know why? Because I'm too busy making shit.
Yeah, that's almost like a mental disorder, man.
It's more of a I feel like some people don't know how to like use something like that. I use it. Like, I have insomnia. I don't sleep. I feel like I was created in a way to do something, and I don't know what it is yet, but like, I have insomnia. Pretty much anything I put my hands on, I feel like I can get really good at it. Like and during the pandemic, I taught myself 6 new programs.
Golly,
6 new programs. And I'm good at them now. Like I'm making money with them. Like, I don't know. Like I'm trying to do something, but that my creative process, it's hard to stay focused on one thing. I can't just do music. If the music will spark an idea for a piece of art, and then the art will spark an idea for a movie, then the movie will spark an idea for something else. And it's hard to like stay focused on one thing. And so I guess I have to like really, I have to tether myself to certain things, and I get bored quick.
It's not a negative thing though. I think subconsciously what's happening is that you get to a point where maybe creatively for a certain specific project, you hit a wall, and instead of forcing something that's not meant to be, you subconsciously jump to something else and put your efforts into it because you know you're gonna give that 1,000% until you hit the wall there, and then you jump to something else until you hit the wall there, and then you come back to where you were before. I think that's kind of how your creative process, how you're describing it to me, you know?
Yeah, now that you put it like that, it does seem like that, because yeah, it is a wall. It's a wall of, okay, I don't know what to do at this point. I need to you're right. Okay, so you're right. There are times where I'll step away, and I told my daughter this. It's like, I need to let the universe unfold as it's supposed to. I'm a Tai Chi practitioner, and one thing they taught us in Tai Chi is, the harder you try to grab for something, the farther away it gets. The harder you try to push, the more it's going to push back. So sometimes you just need to flow with it. And so, get out of the way. Stop trying to block everything. Just get out of the way, because then the energy flows, and then you're going with the current instead of trying to fight it. And that, you're right, that ends up what happening. The current takes me to something else, which will then spark what I need for something else.
Right.
So it's all reciprocal. It's all reciprocal. It's really weird. I wish I had millions of dollars, because damn, dude, I'd be putting so many people on and creating so many things that I feel would change the way the world works. Like, design is problem solving. Design is problem solving.
Yeah, that's how you started the whole thing out. You started this whole interview out by saying that design is problem solving.
Design is problem solving.
So how much have you grown as an artist? Can you put that into words? Is that a question that's easy to answer or hard?
No, that's a good one. It's funny. Somebody was recently talking to me at my day job, and he was talking to me, and he goes, and he's 23, and he goes, man, I keep forgetting how old you are. He goes, because he goes, you don't seem your age. You seem my age. Like, I'm 44. He's like, he's 23, and he feels like I'm 23 years old. He goes, you even look 23. I'm like, but he goes, I told him, I said, I don't get older anymore. I just level up. I was like, when you play Call of Duty and you get prestige mode, I'm in prestige mode right now.
Okay, word.
I don't get any older. I'm just leveling up. And so I feel as an artist, and I'm talking about the whole full gamut as an artist, I feel like I've grown I think I've grown a lot, but I've evolved into a place where I recognize that I can't. You said it earlier. I do feel like no one gives a shit about what I'm doing. Nobody cares. There's a wave of artists. Everybody's doing their thing. There's so many people out there, but I need to not worry about that. Just put my stuff out there, because ultimately that's how we met.
Right.
Because I just had stuff out there. I wasn't worried about what anybody else was doing. And I don't know where I started worrying about that. But I feel like I've grown into a place where it's like, I'm okay with doing what I want to do. I'm not trying to, and to be fair, I wasn't catering to anybody, but I felt like I was still in a little box of, you have to you got to be lyrical. You got to do all these certain things a certain way, because you got to fit, you got to be hip hop. And I forgot, and somewhere down the line, I forgot I am hip hop. I don't got to do hip hop. I am hip hop. And so it's in my blood.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I have grown. I feel like I've grown a lot, and I understand my temperament as well. Like, I know that I like to move fast.
Right.
I'm moving I'm a speedster. I feel like the world's moving in slow motion sometimes, because my brain's moving 10,000 miles a minute. I'm playing chess every moment of my life, 10 steps ahead. So yeah, I feel like I have leaps and bounds, but at the same time, I still got so much more to go. And I feel like, and just to kind of call this out, with some of the homies passing away and stuff nowadays in hip hop at young ages, you know what I mean? you got cats, the homies passing, they're just going. And I'm like, all right, I gotta, now's the time where you can't really be playing. You gotta leave your mark, man. And like, do what you want to do, because at any moment you can just be gone. And I don't know what happens at the end. Like, you might be sitting back going, shit, I forgot to do, like, you know, like you feel like you forgot your keys. I don't want that in my essence. I want to feel like I did everything that I wanted to do. That's why I'm traveling more. Again, I got back into traveling again. I'm getting more into like not caring about what anybody thinks when it comes to what I'm doing musically. I'm speaking my mind, and I mean, I always did, but now it's just less of the worry, you know? And so, yeah, I feel like I still got a lot more to go though. That's the thing. I don't even feel like I'm done. I still feel like I'm 25. I don't, it's weird. I don't feel.
Good thing.
It's a weird feeling.
No, it isn't a weird.
Because I got homies who stopped doing music, man. I got homies who stopped doing music, and part of their statement is, "Oh, I just can't do it anymore." And I'm like, I could never think like that. Like, it's so much of a part of me, I can't stop doing it.
Right. It's like an extra limb that it's never gonna get cut off.
It's like breathing, man. I don't think about breathing. It just happens. I don't think about doing music. Next thing you know, I'm just making a beat. What the fuck am I doing? I'm making a beat. All
right. So you talked about being not only doing music but doing other things. I want to get into like your time with Nike. Not a lot of people know that you work for Nike. So how did that happen? Come about? Because that's not easy thing to do. Even though Nike's from the state that you live in currently. How did that all come about? And did you get to meet Tinker?
No, but I met Mark Parker though.
Oh, Mark. Okay. Yeah, he's the
CEO at the time. Yeah. I met him. I saw Tinker a few times, but never got to. You know what? Actually, I think I have met him at a Nike party. Okay, so I've done a couple parties where I did some stuff for them as like outside. So before I worked for them, so I feel like I think I did meet him once. I know I met him once because I remember him standing by his old ass VW. Like, it's like gross. It's like you're like looking at the dude like, oh, you got this old ass car, but it's Tinker. What the fuck you gonna say to this guy? Right, cool ass dude. He looks like, when you see him, if you see him, he looks like he kind of looks like Jimmy Buffett. It's kind of weird. He kind of looks like Jimmy Buffett in person. Like, he looks real disheveled and shit, you know, hair all the he's just like whatever. He's like, but I mean, he's Tinker. He's like, I don't give a shit. I am a millionaire. I can do what the fuck I want. So when I got to Nike, I was an operations manager for Hewlett Packard tech support. So if you called up, you know, you're talking to my people, and I basically kept them in check when they were being rude to you. Nike had a satellite building close to where I was working at, and the manager who was taking over Nike Plus was just starting. So this was like the Fuel Band and Sport Watch and all that technology, like the beginning of wearables. People don't know Nike started the wearables shit. Nobody was doing that. They started that in the 80s with a bunch of high school kids. But then it became the Fuel Band years and years down the road. So he came over to me, and he knew I had applied for the job as a manager for Nike Plus, and he was like, hey, just come over. So we did the interview. I remember doing the interview for him, and I had a pair of Adidas on. At this time, I had not worn Nikes in 15 plus years.
Yeah, because you're an Adidas guy.
Yeah, at the time, well, I tried to wear Nikes back in the day, but they were too narrow, and so they hurt my feet. And then I was 13 wearing a size 13 shoe. That ain't gonna go over well in school as a kid. No, I'm good. I'll rock my wide Adidas and have my normal, you know, have a smaller foot. I'm good. And I was a B-boy, you know, and I'm breakdancing and doing all types of shit. So, you know, it's either Adidas or Puma at the time. You're not doing that with Nikes on. And so I actually still have the Adidas I was wearing for the interview. So I'm sitting there in the interview, and we're talking, and I'm really confident in this interview to the point where, like, I don't give a shit. Like, he called me into this interview. I'm wearing, during my other job, and he pulled me into the other building. I'm wearing my Adidas. I came into work wearing Adidas. Don't say shit to me about it. The whole interview, he is staring at my feet. He's like, so tell me about a time where you didn't have enough information and, you know, you needed to, and he's just, you know, he's doing it, but he's staring at my feet. And during the interview, I just got tired of it. And I looked at him, I said, hey, and he looks at me and I said, I'll change my shoes when you hire me. And he goes, he laughs, he goes, fair enough. I was like, what do you want me to do, man? And he goes, so what do we need to do? And I was like, what do you mean? What do we need to do? He goes, what we need to do to get you over here. I was like, tell me when I'm going to start. And that's, you know, and we'll make it happen. So I go over there and I go over to Nike Plus. And so I'm one of the managers for the Fuel Band and all that. So whenever you called up and your Fuel Band was broken, I'm talking about, I was in the meetings with the VPs before it came out, when it was only in Japan. when there was 2.4 million sold in Japan in the first 10 minutes of being put out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm watching this shit happen. I'm basically learning, and this is my world, learning logistics for the first time. Like, I'm actually really getting into logistics, and I'm starting to understand something I actually enjoy. And this goes back to what I said earlier. Creation or design is problem solving, right? And so I'm learning about the whole idea about what Nike does, where it comes from, the whole idea. And I'm like, God, I really believe in this shit. I didn't think I would believe in Nike, but I like their ethos. I like what they believe in and what they're trying to do for people. So I got really into it. And it turned into Nike Plus, and it became a big thing. And then I moved on and became a senior operations manager for that shit. And I helped, so just so you know, I helped to make the Nike Running Club. So the NRC, that's my baby. Like, then the Nike app is my baby. Like, they don't give people credit that were behind the scenes doing that shit from the jump. Like, I remember having 20 different devices and me trying to figure out which devices worked correctly. The developers would make them and just put them out. I had to sit there and figure it out and send information back. And I had to do this every single day, every week with a report. So I'm like, I'm really into this shit. I'm a techie guy, you know? So, and I'm giving ideas because I can see, again, I'm a futurist. I can see where this app's gonna go. I remember being in a meeting with this dude. He looked like a superhero. Like, I'm telling you, he had the big chest, white dude with a little crew cut, super smiley, looked like a superhero. Like, he should have been in the Incredibles and shit. And no lie, I remember him, we were sitting in a meeting and in a business meeting, and he looks at me, he goes, "So what do you think?" And I looked at him and I said, "Nike Plus is gonna be much bigger than this. I think it's gonna become a movement where it's a bigger thing." And he goes, "Oh, you really think so?" And I said, "Hell yeah." And now look at where we're at. We're at the Nike app. And the thing is, the Nike app doesn't do everything it should be doing. Everything, I have ideas and things that it should do, which I'm not going to say here because guess what? I'm about to apply for Nike again to get a job working at that so I can change the game.
Okay.
But I'm going to bridge the gap in a lot of things that really are missing. And what I learned is in that my Nike experience, I like to create an experience. And just to kind of explain that, hip hop, as an artist, as a musician, when I perform on stage, my idea was to give you an experience. I've watched a lot of artists perform. How many times do we watch artists go up there and just pace back and forth, rapping? Okay, that's great. And they're pretty much doing what you can listen to on the MP3 or the CD or whatever. Okay, great.
No experience.
So you just paid, no experience. You just paid money to basically just see the person, they could just lip sync it and it wouldn't be any different, right? Where when you come to my show, I want you to feel like you walked away from an experience. I want you to go, God damn. And to my point, every show I've done with a major artist, they always, and I'm opening for them, they always look at me at the end and go, how do I go on after that? And I go, and I always say to them, you're you. You only got to try. They're here for you. I just wanted to make sure the plate was hot. So when you go out there, it's ready to go. And they're just like, hell yeah. Because to me, that experience they walk away with, they could go anywhere. I want them to walk away and go, God damn, and remember it and want that again and crave it because it doesn't exist. Give people something that doesn't exist and they're gonna want more of it. And so that hip hop idea, that idea of being an artist, easily translated over to the Nike work because the idea was Nike's about telling a story and having people feel like they're a part of something bigger. And that's what my experiences are when I'm performing. When I go up there, I crack jokes. I crack jokes about myself. I'll talk about life for a moment and get us all into this place. And then I'll ask us together, can we do this? And then can we collectively put our energy together, make the show dope? Yes, solid, because we need to make this the best experience that anyone's ever had because how often do you get this? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, let's fucking do this shit. And it feels good. It's that energy. As much as I don't like people, I love people. That's the piece I like. And so Nike was trying to create that, and you know what, I bought in on it, and I was like, you got me. And so leaving them was bittersweet, man, because it was basically the fuel man got caught up with some shit and I knew it was coming. And here's the futurist in me. I remember arguing about it during a business meeting about the caloric intake. I said, yo, the caloric intake is not accurate, and I have people calling in and are using this with their doctors. And next thing you know, somewhere down the line, Nike gets sued for caloric intake. Fuel band's gone. No more making it.
Oh wow.
Let's let Apple make our watches. We're not making devices anymore. We'll let the experts make devices. We'll just put our application on it. which made sense to me.
And our logo, man, that.
Yep, done. And that's it. And that was it. And I mean, to be fair, the CEO of Apple is a shareholder of Nike. So I mean, he's on the board. So, you know what I mean? It's an easy marriage. You don't got to try too hard.
Makes sense.
You know, but it made sense to me and I understood. But I learned logistics. I learned supply chain. I learned about human connections. I was building things for people who never ran track in their life so they would understand how to talk to people. And I learned it's experience. You got to know your audience. And that comes from doing hip hop. People don't realize it, but hip hop teaches you a lot about shit, man. It really does. Like you can go out there, go on stage. If you can go on stage and talk to a bunch of people and get them to listen to you, you know, that's hard, man. That's hard. And you're just up there rapping, you know what I mean? But it teaches you confidence to be able to stand tall even when you're not confident about what you're going to say. You know, they don't know what the fuck. They're just watching you.
Well, the thing is that people don't understand that hip hop's a culture. They think it's a music when it's not.
Yeah. Yeah,
rap is music.
It's life. Yeah, rap is music. Hip hop is a culture. Culture is like what drives your decision making process and how you do things, how you show up to the world, right?
All right. So since we're talking about that, let's go into your feelings about the current state of the hip hop culture, if there is still a hip hop culture, and how do you see it in the future?
I just read an article. No lie, I just saw an article last night that made me. I almost swiped past and I pulled it back and read it a little bit of it. I need to finish it, and it's talking about streetwear, and it said streetwear is dead, and I was like, what? And I was like, I want to see why. What is this clickbait shit? Mm-hmm. And no, it was actually talking about how, you know, streetwear, where it comes from, and why it is not necessarily a thing anymore. It's a normal. It's so normalized. It's not streetwear anymore. It's just fashion. And I was like, damn. And I started to think. I started looking at the parallels between streetwear and how that came up and where hip hop, you know, its roots are and where that came up and how they're synonymous with each other, right? And I was like, I was like, hip hop, where are we at in its stage right now? I mean, you see memes where they'll show like hip hop back in the day, and they'll show I saw this one recently. It showed a picture of a train back in the 80s in New York with graffiti on it, and then a picture of Eazy-E looking gangster. Then the next one was a train clean as fuck now with a picture of some random ass rapper with tattoos all over his face. And I was like, I started laughing. I got it. And I was like, this is the state of hip hop now. Right. This is not even hip hop. This is just the state of the music industry and their portrayal of hip hop. This is what they want people to think it is, because it's a moneymaker. It's capitalism. And I get capitalism. I understand why it exists. I understand what we're doing. And I said it in one of my songs years ago. I said at first graffiti wasn't art, but now it's Art Deco. It's the same thing they're doing with hip hop. In Art Deco, the definition of Art Deco is it's decorative art, taking something from the core version of what it was, breaking it apart and using it to decorate. That's what they do with hip hop. They're taking the pieces of it and just peppering whatever they want with it. You know what I mean? You got Geico commercials and you got the fucking tag team back again. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on right now? And to be fair, they're funny as fuck. Yeah. They're funny. I get it. And that's what I mean though. Like it's not even, there's a whole generation right now who does not know what hip hop is. They don't know what it is. They see what they see, and that is what it is. It goes back to the idea of thinking about the first person who came up with calculus. You're making something out of nothing. It doesn't exist. You're making something and it's 100% new. People are pushing back on it. They're saying it's just a fad. It's not going to be a real thing. Then it becomes prominent and it starts to shape the way people do things in the world. Think about it. Calculus was made just to use a catapult. That's all it was for. War. And now we use it to build buildings, to understand how the orbits of planets move and all these different things. It started off as something that somebody was just creating to show a different way of doing things, and people hated on it. Hip hop is the same thing. It's an element that people were hating on, and they were like, nah, it's not real. It's just a fad. It's just black people talking. And then everybody's doing it now. Now it's a cool thing. But then at some point it becomes so watered down, you don't even know what the hell you're looking at anymore. It's diluted. Right. And you'll get random moments where it's there. And that's just like foam, because it's there for a moment and then it just dissipates away because of the state of how we look at things. We have so much music and so much technology and so much of it everywhere. Matter of fact, oh my God, Ice-T actually said this in a movie, Johnny Mnemonic. Ice-T is playing a cyberpunk dude, and he said it. He starts talking about how we have all this technology all around us, and it's overwhelming. We're overwhelmed with all this technology. We're losing ourselves. He was right. He was right back then. That is where we're at right now. The state of hip hop exists, but it exists like a kung fu style. It's like a kung fu style. You got to find the right people who are doing it, who are masters of it, because there's a lot of fake masters out there who are showing you bullshit. And it's a hidden form. I feel like the old man who walks around with the cane, who fakes out like he's hurt until you try to test me, and I got to put the cane down and like battle you and destroy you real quick and show you that it's like, you know what I mean? My girl has done that to people where they're talking to her and they're like, oh, you're not an MC. And she's like, or you're not a rapper. She's like, no, I'm not. I'm an MC, you know? And they're like, and they'll play around with her and she'll just, and they're just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You're for real.
Yeah.
And when they say that you're for real, think about that statement. You're for real.
For real, yeah.
Fake shit you've been around.
Yeah.
How much fake shit have you seen?
Yeah.
For you to even say you're for real, how much fake shit have you seen? Like, nah, man, that's so hip hop, man. Right now, this is a PSA to all hip hop artists out there right now. If you are really trying to do something for the culture, you got to think differently, think bigger about what you're doing. And I said this to somebody just recently. As an artist and as an MC, your words have weight. They have weight, and they are powerful, man. You got people out there talking about dumb shit, you know, walking up down the street, I'm brushing my teeth, like shit like that. What are we fucking doing, man? What the fuck are we doing? You better brush your teeth. That's what you're supposed to do in the fucking morning. Don't rap about it. Don't rap about that shit. Stop telling me about how many bitches you fucked. I don't care. I don't care. Stop telling me about all the drugs you've done. I mean, that's your life, but guess what? That's not all you're doing. There has to be something more to your fucking life. So like I'm telling you right now, if you're doing it to make money, all right, say la vie. I have nothing to say to you. You know, do what you do. But if you're really trying to be an artist as a real artist and have some longevity, that's the difference. Not a flash in the pan, but longevity. You got to start adding to the culture. Don't just use the culture. Add it. It is not toilet paper. Don't just use it. Be the culture. Make it your everyday life. Don't tell people you do hip hop. You shouldn't. Don't even say it. You are it. It should be a part of you every day. And that doesn't mean making a beat every day. That doesn't mean writing songs every day. That means remembering that hip hop is a culture, and you're pushing that shit forward. And every word you say, every moment, every time you step into the world, you're showing it. And like you're running around with putting gems in your fucking forehead like your Vision from the fucking Marvel universe. What are we doing? Come on, man. It's crazy. That is just, this shit is nuts. Like, and to be fair, let's be fair and be real with you. Because I'm such a futurist, I would love to be part cyborg. I'm not lying about that shit. I would love to be a part cyborg. However, I don't know if I'd be putting gems in my fucking forehead. I don't see the value in that. I wouldn't even put my money into a gem. I'd put my money into forward movement. Like, how can I create a business that will help other people do something more? I got 5 homies who are super talented and do not have the platform they need. Let's create a platform for them.
Right. And
not just give them money. Let's make sure they have the right people who are smart enough to know what they need to do to help them move forward. That's what we should be doing in hip hop right now. Like right now, what we're doing, this is building. What people are doing right now, they're not, man. They're BSing and they're just trying to make money. And I understand. But dude, we're not in the apocalypse yet. Can we like try to like not have that happen? I don't know. It's weird.
No, it's not weird. You know. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. Maybe I'm going on a rant. I apologize. I'm thinking about what you're saying, and it's meaningful. Like it means something. Like it really does.
Right, because you've been doing it for a while, and like cats like me, you, and Quest, we've seen what's happened to this culture. And as much as we want to do something about it, we can't because there's only 3 of us. And you know, and if you think about it, I mean, you know, I want to say, like, when I started writing for Insomniac, I was watching the underground scene start to make a splash, like start to get noticed a lot more, you know, Company Flow, all those guys, you know, Raucous Records, all those, you know, labels, independent, you know, independent as fuck, that saying that, you know, LP always used. And then somebody slapped their dick in the dirt and it just like deteriorated. And I want to say it happened like around 2002 or so. That's not,
I agree.
That's not something that happens spontaneous. That's planned. You know?
Oh yeah.
Like. So why do you think that happened? Like, what do you think the plan was?
Honestly, I think it's.
And who is doing it?
You know, there's an article they were talking about Nipsey Hussle and stuff, and they were talking about how the FBI was doing all these different things, and you know, and I'm not one to be a conspiracy theorist, right? But when you look back in history, right? Let's use history. I'm wearing this shirt, right? It says, you know, Black history is American history, right? Let's just talk about that for a quick second. The Black Panther movement and Malcolm X and all these, and MLK and all these different people, right? They were on the FBI watched them, you know, and they were afraid. They actually had a write-up about MLK and Malcolm X. They were afraid of the type of movement they would create and change in their, you know, the hierarchy and their structure. They didn't like that because they were afraid of what they could do. That kind of movement. And remember, that's pre, there's no social media. There's none of that shit. This is fucking grassroots, word of mouth. You're fucking putting your feet to the fucking pavement and you're going out there and talking to people. You can't be afraid to have a conversation. You got to have that hard conversation and be able to not get emotional and communicate effectively, right? And again, going back to what I was saying earlier, words are powerful. Having a movement is powerful. Being someone that people are paying attention to and having your voice being heard is powerful. And so underground artists, you know, people, you just remember the term underground. You don't have the topsoil without the underground.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to have the underground.
Foundation.
The shit has to come from somewhere. Right. That's the foundations. Everybody started in the underground. I don't care how big they are. Everybody did. The problem is that when you get some of those underground cats moving to a point of power and not looking back at where they came from and falling in line with these dumbass fools with all this fucking money, and no lie, I mean, they're telling them what to do. Like, hold on a second. They're telling them what to do. They're saying, you know, this is how you need to do it. This is how you need to do it. Like, what do you say to that? How do you argue when you got people who are rich and famous, got all this money, and they're telling you to how to change the game, and you're really not changing the game. You're cutting people out. And then and you're doing these little micro platforms to act like you're trying to do something more. And it's crazy. So I honestly think it was planned. But I think it was planned. They're having us self-sabotage. And that's what it is. And because that's easy. You don't have to take ownership. You don't have to say you're a part of anything. You don't have to say you did anything or you were a part of that. You just sit back and be in the mix. And when I look at that, I'm looking at it like this. I think that artists who had the power, who had control, did not keep control. I think what they did is they gave the power up. And in hindsight, they're like, fuck, I need to get my shit back. Like, I don't know if you know this, but you probably do, but there's like only like 10 or 12 major artists that own their music.
Right, because all the rights are owned by the company. From all the other artists, they don't own their own masters, essentially.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. How you not own your masters? That's crazy. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab.
Go ahead, brother. Go.
I apologize.
This is live. This is how it goes down, man. When you do recording.
Yeah, no, I got you. I apologize.
No, don't apologize, man. This is real. I don't want no fake show. You know what I mean? Like, for real, man. I don't want to do a fake show, man. I want to do like real life show. You know, if you got a fart, man. It's natural.
There we go.
There you
go. So on some real shit, I think at the end of the day, I think that hip hop and the underground community did not. It actually goes back to the Sigmatics. we didn't take control of our own narrative of what we were doing. We had internal shit going on, external shit around us going on, all the talent, all the skills, not utilizing resources 100%, being lazy, that's the honest piece,
right?
You know, and just all those things together was a perfect storm to lose what you had, you know, and not necessarily lose it, just it kind of like fizzle out and you have to like rebuild it. And so the underground scene, and I agree with you, man, it did it. It started out weird. You watched it, you literally watched it wither. It was like watching somebody die. You're like, you just like, you wouldn't hear about it anymore. Think artists were just disappearing and stuff. I'm like, damn. So I think it was a purposeful assassination of, at a time where people's voices were starting to really be heard. And that's why you have cats like Killer Mike and shit popping out of that. With the right to get a platform to continue doing what they were doing. Because Killer Mike was underground. Killer Mike was underground. He was well known, but he was underground. And his albums and shit like that were in that same realm. You know, We're Not Going on the radio a bunch was still underground. They were still underground artists. They still consider themselves underground. You know what I mean? The whole thing was you don't want to be mainstream. Fuck the mainstream. They want to use you and take all your shit from you. And so I think that there's a hidden underground though. That's what I think there is. Part of that, I'm going to say something kind of controversial. Part of that underground energy went to some artists who I think don't really deserve the love that they were getting. And I'm not going to name any names, but the scene that I didn't like, that I wasn't feeling, was the battle scene for a little bit.
Yeah,
it's garbage. And like there was one dude, and there's one dude in particular I cannot stand.
Swan?
Distractor. I can't remember his fucking name. I don't know who he is, but I don't like him. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I've watched him battle a few times, and I caught him doing a lot of the same stuff. He uses a lot of the same lines. He uses the same shit. He always goes into race. He always has to use some shit. And that's the thing where I don't understand that stuff. Like, you're going to battle, that's fine. But there's a point where, like, you know, let's try to, like, keep it within the battle. You don't have to talk about race. You don't need to go that deep about it. You can talk about their clothes and gear and shit, but I don't want to go there. I don't need to talk about your race. But he would do shit like that. He would say the most foulest shit sometimes. I'm just like, you know, man, like, I don't think, I think you're from a realm where battling is just battling. You don't realize that type of shit will get you fucked up. Like, there's a line we just didn't cross. You know what I mean? Like, unless you were really trying to go there and it just didn't matter. You know what I mean? You weren't talking about people's wives. You weren't talking about nobody's kids. You know what I mean? You weren't saying shit about nobody's mom. I mean, unless, you know, you just knew each other well enough to do that shit. But I've watched this dude, and I don't like the way he battles. I don't like what he was doing. And then I was watching the whole battle scene, and I'm like, yeah, this is garbage, man. And then I was like, and I remember I said to somebody, I was like, I would love to see these cats make an album. Like, it's funny that they're doing all this shit, but I heard they might, or one or two of them have an album, but I'm like, yeah, but who heard about them? Nobody. You know why? Because they can't write. They can't write to say their lives. They can write and talk shit, but they can't write anything meaningful. That's hard. Talking shit, anybody can talk shit. Write something meaningful that's from here, man. That thought provoking. And I'm not saying you always got to do that, but try it out. You can't. Because all you're in this place of, oh, chest beat Simeon, I gotta be fucking hard. Yeah, okay. And so like that battle scene was like, it actually discouraged me, man. It discouraged me quite a bit. I used to battle. I was a battler, man, and I don't know. I didn't like it, and I didn't want to be around it. And that was like, to me, that's where the underground went to. And that, because they were, you know, and it became a joke.
Right.
You were seeing videos of people fighting and boxing each other over a fight, people pissing on themselves in the middle of a battle because they want to fuck somebody up. And I'm just like, this is stupid, man. Like, we're like a cartoon now. Now we're caricatures. You understand this is Sambo shit.
Right.
This is Sambo shit.
We're Family Guy characters. That's what it's
yeah,
about.
We might as well put on blackface and dance around and do dumb shit on stage. Like, what are we doing? But people are watching this, right? You know, people are watching this and they're attributing this to the culture.
Right.
Fuck.
Fucking it up.
And that matters to me. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm the know-all, tell-all for the culture, but god damn, man. This shit is a part of me, dude. I'll get into it with anybody who tried to argue me about hip hop. Like, yo, man, this is a part of me. Don't try to tell me what it's like. I lived it. If you've never lived it, the picture book is not worth the real trip.
Yeah, you have a stake in it. You have literally you have a history in it. Like you're part of.
Really have a history.
Yeah, you're part of that history.
Part of the fucking history.
Yeah, man. And people don't know that.
Which makes me laugh, and I'm like, without sounding like a fucking pretentious dick, I'm like, yeah, you know, I actually am part of the fucking history. That feels good. Fuck.
Dude,
who knows? But
do you think Chuck D feels he's pretentious when he says that? No, man. Why would you say that? Why would Quest say that?
But Chuck D's on a platform where like he knows that everybody knows that. I don't know that anybody knows I'm a part of the history, and that's where I try to stay humble. Like, I just heard on a show last night, this lady was telling her child, you know, it's okay to be humble, but know your worth. And I'm like, I know that. I heard that just last night. And I'm like,
right.
It's like, you know what I mean? You hear stuff because you need to hear it, you know, and it sticks with you because obviously it resonates with you. So.
No, that's awesome, bro. It's true. You know, you get messages that resonate with you. But imagine like, and maybe this is a bad like metaphor, right? But imagine like LeBron, right? LeBron James, like at 17, right? He was already in like magazines already at 17 before he even made the NBA. But imagine, because people didn't know who LeBron was, let's say, he's this uber talented guy. Let's say they don't know who he is. He doesn't make it to the NBA, even though he can be the most talented guy in the world. Like, right? Like you got guys like now, like, I don't know if you watch NBA, like Ja Morant. Like, he's an exceptional basketball player. But imagine him not making it to the NBA because they didn't know him. He could be he's a talented guy. So I don't understand how like in music and in art, you got like so many talented people that just don't get the break that they deserve.
Crabs in a pot.
Right. You're one of them, Quest. I mean, I can name thousands of them. And yet here we are in 2020.
It's crabs in a pot. It's the crabs in a pot idea.
All this technology, phones, access. Like, you just found literally in 2 seconds segmentic stuff, like in 2 different.
Like, I was like, holy shit! I've been looking for this for years.
Yeah, Bandcamp, and you found out a defunct MySpace page, but yet your stuff is not playing in people's radios right now, and Quest stuff is being played on people's radios. They're not using it for commercials and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Right. And that's what bothers me. Like that's my rant. Like, that's what bothers me. You know, I try to do the journalist thing to help bring you guys up, and I felt like it did nothing. I mean, maybe some people, you know, found who you are through what I did, but not enough. You know what I mean? But anyway,
I will say you did help the game though. You helped us a lot, man. Like, I actually had a couple people call out Insomniac Magazine for my album. They were like, "Oh, yo, dude, I caught your album from Insomniac Magazine. I read the review," and they were like people would email me because I left my email on my album. Like, you know, so I wanted them to know you can reach out to the real fucking artist. I'm not like some motherfuckers hidden up in some glass house, like for real. And they emailed me a couple times. They're like, "Yo, I read the article on this, and this album is dope." I was like, good shit. Where'd you find it? Oh, Insomniac Magazine. Good shit. Okay.
Cool. I'm glad. All right. So that I have some sort of a relief, because I never knew what happened after I did the review and after I put it out there. Like, I never got any sort of feedback, so I don't know if it even helped at all. But
and I apologize if I didn't give you that feedback. I should have. Let me tell you something.
That's not your job.
I want you to know. I want you to know this. I want you to know this. I need you to know this. This is something like, and again, this is me talking about stuff that I just don't talk about with anyone. And I'm telling you and the world this shit. Now that I think about it.
And the world, yep.
And the world. You, my man, I want you to know, I have trust issues, and you know, that's life. I don't trust too many people with something I care about this close. You know what I mean? Like, again, like that hip hop to me is like my child. It's like a piece of me. You know what I mean? And to entrust someone with your shit and to just let them go to town with it, it's hard for me to do. Like, I you know me, I have what, 5 albums that I never put out, just sitting around. And they're dope. They're super dope. They're actually relevant now, just sitting around. And you know why? Because I'm all, oh, I don't know, I'm being all weird about it. And you know, and the fact that I gave you, you don't call me no more, and I did it on a, because you said something to me, and I want you to know, I remember this statement you said to me. We were talking about it, and I said to you exactly this. I said, look, I was like, I don't know about this album, man. I was like, I'm just putting it together. I'm working on this other thing, but I just did this and da 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 da. And you were like, dude, just give it to me. Let me listen to it. Let me do a review on it. Just let me do a review. You were basically trying to convince me that it's okay to let it go. And I remember I was like, I don't know. You're like, look, and you said this. You were like, look, did you make that album just for you to listen to? And I was like, no. And you were like, then let me hear it. Give it to me so I can expose it to the world, man. You said they need to hear it. And I went, fine. And I remember I sent it to you because I was unsure about it. Yeah, I was like, ah. And then you did the review, and I read the review because I didn't want to read the review. I was like, he's gonna be shit. This album is gonna be, oh my god. You know what I mean? I'm hating on my own shit. That's how I do. Everything I make, I hate on it. And I get done performing, and I'm like, that was a shit ass show.
Bro, artists are the,
you know what I mean? I start going in my head about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm bad though, man. I'm self-destructive. Dog, I'll be making a beat halfway through, be like, fuck this beat. I'm about to turn it off. Dude, my girl was like, no, don't. She's all, just come back to it. And I'm like, I saved it, came back to it later. And I was like, oh yeah, I know what to do now. And she's right. So I'm impulsive to that point. I'll just nuke and pave everything. Oh, really? 2 months of shit gone. But you forced me to like just let the shit go. And then your review, man, like you said, I'll remember this from your review. You said, the one thing I enjoy, I quote, the one endearing thing about this album that I truly enjoy is the brevity. You said that in your review. You said the brevity. You said, I was cleaning my house, listening to the album, and I didn't realize how many times I had heard it because the way it flows. And I was like, and when I read that, I was like, you brought something to me. You gave me closure. It was like, what I did worked, because that was the idea, was to make the album feel like a loop. Right. Where it felt so good you didn't even know how many times you heard it. Right. And it worked. It worked. And I didn't tell you that. You caught that on your own. When I read that, I was like, you reinforced for me that I was doing the right thing, and that I actually am. I know what I'm doing. It's purposeful. I'm like a sniper now. I'm not just shooting a shotgun into space and hoping I hit something. I'm actually sniping at certain aspects of the music that I want to do. Right. And so that one review, man, that I got from you specifically helped me continue moving forward. I need you to know that. I'm very critical about everything I do, man. And that album, because of that review and because the way it sounds, I go back and I listen to it now and it doesn't sound like me. It sounds like I'm not listening to me, and it feels good. And like, I'm telling you, man, I thank you for that, man. Thank you.
Oh man, my pleasure, dude. I'm glad I put in a big word. I hope I understood what I was writing when I wrote brevity. You know,
no, it was perfect. No, because the album, it's not super long. It's like it's there, and it's like, and then it's gone, but then it's back again. You don't even really know it's gone. Like, you're like, and I asked you about it later. You're like, yeah, I didn't even realize I heard the song 3 times, and I was like,
yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Well, I mean, I knew I had heard it multiple times, but it was always. I was always anticipating the next song and the next song and the next song, and then I had it on repeat, so it started all over again. And I didn't want to hit the the off button, because I still had stuff to do, and I'm like, what am I going to listen to? I might as well just keep listening to this. It's dope. I mean, it's making things flow for me. So it just kept going and going and going, and that's like, to me, like how people listen to like Illmatic, over and over again, or Extinction Agenda over and over again.
Yeah, man. I can play that album. There's very few albums you can just play all the way. Like Redman, There Is a Dark Side. I can play that album all the way through, and it's dope. Like, in beginning to end. And I'm not saying every song is like, nah, but I mean, like, it flows well, it feels good, but it goes good. And so, like, I laugh at that. I go, okay, nice, and that's what I get. Okay, so this new album I'm working on right now, that's kind of what I want to do. I want to continue. Like I said, I want to grab the energy and relaxed energy I had from Planet Earth, where I feel like I'm being a little more, universal. It's not so cerebral that I'm breaking your brain to like understand everything I'm saying. Like my homeboy listened to one of the songs, helped me with the videos, and he said a couple of the songs I had to look up what you were saying, and I was like, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, but then when I looked it up, it blew my mind because of you have like double and triple entendres in there, and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I hide shit. I was like, dude, my album is a comic book. My songs are comic books. They're just pages, and there's Easter eggs hidden throughout them all. I make references to Star Wars and Star Trek and G.I. Joe and Mask and fucking being humanoids and shit that you know what I mean? Like, I'm a fucking nerd. Like, one of my choruses is nerd, sneakerhead, all of the above. Grew up on classic anime, hip hop, it showed me love. A graph artist, comic book historian, looking through stained glass is just an abstract distortion.
Question's gonna love that. Question's gonna love that, bro.
I already told him, I said, hey, Quest, I need you to say abstract distortion for me so I can throw you on the song.
Did he do it?
I'm telling you, Easter eggs galore.
But did he do it?
I'm like, I want, huh? No, I don't know. I asked him. He hasn't sent it to me yet.
Okay.
He said he doesn't have anything to record on. So I told him, hey, get it done. Cause I have to put you on this chorus because you're on my chorus for the song. But that's what I'm saying. Like I'm a fucking, my shit is full of Easter eggs. I want you to have fun when you listen to my album. I want you to listen to my album like what look for shit. You're like, ooh, that's so and so in the background. Even my videos. Little trick about my videos. If you guys ever see my videos when they do come out, keep an eye on what's going on in the background because there's something I do in my videos that I have never seen anyone else do. And I'm gonna put it out there now. So if somebody sees somebody doing it, they're like, oh, that's a cute thing.
Yep.
In the background of every one of my videos, if you look, you will see me in the background of my own videos. The reason why, if you look really close, every video is happening at the same time.
Oh, shit.
Every video album is happening at the same time. So I might be walking by another part of the other video.
So it's
and you just happen to see
the multiverse thing.
Yeah, it's a multiverse. Again, my shit is a multiverse, man. I want you to see it. And it's like that's not me, that's another version of me. And I might even stop and break the fourth wall and kind of be like, what the okay. And again, I wear a mask. You don't see my mouth moving. I wear a mask all the time for my new shit. Because I finally get to, like right now, y'all get to see what I look like. I'm not the most pretty motherfucker. People said I could look like a model, but not
freaking model. I already told you that.
I'm all oily and the light's wrong. Like I wish I had one of those ring lights because then it'd make it look all soft and like real perfect. But I wear a mask so you can't see my face. Matter of fact, here's
you got the mask.
I'll show you what it looks like. So
damn,
moving forward.
So you wear a mask and you reference the cartoon mask. That's crazy.
Like, right, it's crazy, right? I'm telling you, there's like super references everywhere in my shit. But so.
Oh shit. Okay, that's like Daft Punk meets Iron Man. That's dope, right,
man. What I'd like to do is make it so I could disconnect the jaw piece.
Yeah.
So I could take it off and still rhyme. But if I needed to, I could just go like this and still be able to rhyme.
But you can't see anything though. That's the only problem. Oh, you can see through that?
Yeah, I mean, I drilled holes in it so I can see.
Oh,
so I can see through this. I can see through this part of it, right here.
That's
but
dope.
I can't see through here. And I need to. So I wanted to make it so I could disconnect this jaw piece, so I could take it off, and you can still see my mouth, but you can't see my eyes.
Yeah, that's kind of like on some Metal Gear, Gray Ninja.
Exactly. Great. Yep. You already. Gray Fox.
Yeah, Gray Fox. That's it. Gray Fox.
Oh my God. All right, hold up. Speaking of Metal Gear, I don't know if you can see this, but watch this.
What do you got, man? Oh, I see it right there. Yeah.
The entire art of Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4.
There's different books?
Oh God, there's how many books are there? 2 thick ass books.
Oh shit, that's
and
dope.
There's this third thick ass book right here, the art of Metal Gear Solid 5.
Damn, man, that's dope, man. Yeah, I got like video game art books. Like I got Borderlands art books.
Oh, you do you have that? I got Killzone.
I see it right there. I see Killzone.
I have Cyberpunk.
What did you think of the game? Did you play that game, Cyberpunk?
The game, I have it. The game is tight. Technically, I got it for free.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but tell you something. They honestly, all right, I'm gonna throw this out there. Hey, CD Projekt Red, if you're watching this video, which you're probably not, I don't know, who knows. But if you are, you guys have run the jewels on the game, so maybe you do watch hip hop stuff. Next time you make a game that's going to deal with having a lot of NPCs walking around in the world and just living their lives, might want to have a conversation with the people from Rockstar, because they know what the fuck they're doing. Stop being so goddamn prideful you cannot reach out and get help. Every Grand Theft Auto game, progression-wise, their NPCs, dude, they have an algorithm running that shit. Those creatures live their own lives. You can literally follow a character around in Grand Theft Auto and watch them live their lives. You cannot do that in Cyberpunk, and that was supposed to be a thing. There's barely anybody on the street. I'm like, what's going on, man? What's going on, guys? I
heard about that.
So the game was really, there was a lot of potential in that game, man. A lot of potential.
A lot of glitches too, I heard.
It was bad. Oh god, it was bad. I have it on PS5, so it just irritated me on, there's a lot of glitches. There's a glitch right now where I killed one of the cyber psychos and his body went under the geometry. So I can never pick up the item he's supposed to give me to say that I'm done with the mission.
Oh man, wow. So it had like a hidden wall or hidden floor piece that he fell under?
Well, he's just under the stairs. He's just under the stairs. I can see his body and I just can't grab it. I'm like, you fucking idiots. I was like, god damn it. He's all clipping through the fucking universe. I wish I could clip through the universe. Jeez. But I see, there's a Cyberpunk book.
That's fire, bro.
What I think is tight about it is it does this.
Damn, man, that's next level.
But dude, I'm telling you how much of it, this shows you how much of a goddamn geek I am, man. I got an anime architecture book, a book on literal animal architecture. I got every single X-Men card that ever existed, ever made from Jim Lee, and it's a numbered can. I've got number 952 of 7,500.
Damn.
You know what I mean? There's only so many of them. Shit like that. I got a book on the art of Atari. The art of Atari. That shit is dope. This is the stuff I grew up on. You know what I mean? I just want people to understand, my life is, I'm centered on fucking just art and creation. I make shoes. I design shoes. I actually designed a shoe for Nike back in the day. You know, and it came out. I was working, when I worked at Nike, I made some commercials that they stole, they didn't steal, what is their name? One of the guys from the marketing department jacked from me. And they won't ever admit it. They'll never admit it. But it's a funny fucking commercial. It's I made these little random ass commercials on my Instagram and I was using a voice thing. The shit is funny. Actually, hold on. I made one about it was around the time when Trump was just getting elected. And I was talking shit. And I was getting tired of people talking shit. Because I didn't want to keep talking shit because, people getting their feelings. Oh, Q's a dick. Sometimes I am. I'm sorry, but I'm not really. But they were talking a lot of shit and wasting a lot of time bitching. And I'm like, you guys bitch a lot about stuff that you didn't actually contribute to. And so I decided to make an artificial intelligence that would talk shit. And talk shit for me. So I didn't have to be a dick. I could just basically type everything out I wanted to say and make it talk for me. So I'm gonna play you something. Hold on. Let me turn the AirPods off. I want you to hear this shit. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, I even did one about promoters at shows. But
are you upset with the way the current president is doing things? Well, if you didn't vote, shut the fuck up. Thanks.
I was real. I was tired of that shit. I was tired of hearing people talking shit. And so there's another one.
Planning show.
All right.
Smoke.
So here's one about promoters.
That's put together a dope lineup.
Hold on. God.
But don't promote it at all. Tells
How do you make
the artist they
Here we go. So check it out.
Things promoters do behind the scenes, because, they are like that. Plan a show when all the other promoters are planning shows. Put together a dope lineup, but don't promote it at all. Tells the artist they respect them and what they do, but doesn't pay them. They decide to have the God complex. Enough said. Change the lineup at the last minute and inconvenience the other acts because their homie doesn't like the time they are supposed to go on. Never start shows on time. They forget that they are the promoter, not a rapper. They get shit-faced and disappear when the show falls apart. Still thinking of being a rapper? Don't. Please, now you can go back to listening to real hip hop. You're welcome.
That's dope. That shit.
They respect
Check
them and
this
what
one.
they do. So, I
Hold
heard
on.
it's 420.
This is when it was 420.
It's really hard to see through all this smoke. Need to switch to infrared. That's better. So, I heard it's 420. Some of you humans like to fill your lungs with marijuana. That's fine. I don't care. I won't tell on you through all this smoke.
Hold on.
Need to switch to infrared. That's better. So, I heard it's 420. Some of you humans like to fill your lungs with marijuana. That's fine. I don't care. I won't tell on you. I heard that snitches gets. Enjoy your high. 420 from Kinetic.
So, man.
I was making those commercials because it was funny. Those were super funny, right? And so I was working at Nike at the time, and I remember, I'll never forget, I was sitting there and we were laughing, and all of a sudden I hear that voice on the TV, and I turn around, and they did a commercial about running like that. I went, "Oh my God, you motherfucker!" I was so pissed. They did like 3 or 4 commercials like that, and I was like, "Oh my!" I was like, "All right, you fucking thieves."
Yeah, they didn't pay you for that shit, man. That
They didn't
sucks.
pay me for none of that shit. Just the marketing dude. One of the dudes saw it and was like, "Oh," and all I did was type out all my shit, put it on my computer, and then chop it apart. And I put it in video and then chopped it apart even more and made it pop all the words on point. So moving forward, just a heads up, guys. That hasn't happened on the planet. That hasn't happened in the universe for a while. So guess what? I'm bringing it back. That's gonna be my shit. My album is gonna be narrated by that thing. Basically, that AI is gonna be talking a lot of shit. So just you know, if you hear your name in there, don't be mad at me.
It's the AI.
AI. Like I had a few more. I was making a lot of them. At one point, it was one where it was like I asked it. It was like it says something about I don't really know because I don't have a body. And like I was just making it say all this different shit, but I was just talking shit. It's my only way to talk shit without getting yelled at.
That's awesome, dude. So let's wrap this up, brother. And what's coming down the pike, man, from Q? Like, when is your new album dropping, and what should we expect in the future from you, my man?
All right. New album is, so I'm going through Junkadelic Music. Junkadelic is the shit. Just to put it out there. They are one of the best companies out there to work for right now. They just put out artists. They're not really a label. They just put out good music, and you know, and they're getting you paid. So I got a new album. I got a whole new multiverse starting. So new album is called Amazing. And it's a play on Spider-Man comics. So the first album that's going to be coming out from Junkadelic is called Amazing Kiew Nikon. That should be coming out, I want to say, in the next couple of months. I want to say, like, give it like 2 or 3 months. I only say that just to be safe because I'm finishing up a couple of things and I got to send it off to them. It will be on the Wax blockchain, just so you guys know. So you're able to pick that. There'll be, basically each song will be an NFT. And if you collect the song, if you collect the songs though, you get something special from it all. I don't know. And just to show you something real quick, I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek of something. This is my first NFT that they're making for me. Well, I made it, but you know, I have, obviously it's my art. But this is my NFT. It'll be out soon.
Oh, that's the mask, dude.
Hold on now.
Yeah, that's dope, dude. And it'll be accompanied with the music, with the song or something?
Yeah, it'll be accompanied with one of the beats from, they're doing a special connection with this group called Underground. They're basically a cryptocurrency company of doing some sort, and they're connecting music with that and creating NFTs. And so my whole album will be on the Wax blockchain. Each song will be an NFT. If you collect them all, you get special shit. I'll be making some special items and merch and things like that. So, and so like, again, first album we called Amazing Kiew Nikon. The second one will probably be called Friendly Neighborhood Kiew Nikon. The next one after that, I think it's called Superior. And then the last one out of that little connection of them will be called 2099. I might do one hidden one called Ultimate, just to be funny.
That's dope, though, I'm a Spider-Man fan, bro. That's my dude.
I didn't know how much I like Spider-Man, but I do. To be honest, my favorite character out of the universe. Okay, I have a few, but there's 3 specifically. I love Spider-Man to death because he's just a normal dude, man. Like, he's not trying to be a superhero. He's just doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. and his powers aren't like OP. He just, you know, he still doesn't even know how far to go.
Right.
Logan Wolverine is like one of my. I love him to death because his story. Like if you think about his life, it's tragic, man. He sees everybody he loves die. He's been with everyone he knows has ever died. He can never really die. Like, fuck, man, that's tragic, right? And you can never get tattoos. You can't. There's certain things you just can't do. And then there's one guy, and I honestly would like to change his race and play him if I could. I would love to play this character because I used to be an actor, by the way, too. But I would love to play. His name is Jamie Madrox, also known as Multiple Man. And his ability is any physical contact against him, and they can make duplicates. And anytime those duplicates make duplicates, they can continue on and they can live their lives. But he can absorb them at any time, and if he absorbs them, everything they've ever learned in their lifetime, he gets it instantly, like he learned it.
Wow.
And I thought that was a dope skill. I was like, damn, you could basically send her off and learn like 20 different things and just absorb all of them at once. You've learned all that shit.
Right.
And those features are dope. And so yeah, that's the next one that's coming up. And then I'm working on a short film right now. And I'm working on a TV show that's going to be coming out soon through a network called Second Team Entertainment. It's going to be it's basically Mystery Science Theater 3000 meets Planet Earth. So it's going to be me talking a lot of shit, making jokes, teaching you about animals, and I think that'll be funny. It'll be pretty fucking funny. I'll be your own personal David Attenborough from the streets.
Okay.
And then
Black
David Attenborough. Welcome to Planet Earth, where people run around afraid to wear masks during the pandemic because of their civil liberties. But that's pretty much it. I've got one other thing I'm working on right now. I just put together, I don't know if you know this, but I think you do know, I just put together a vodka label for a company.
I think you had mentioned it to me, but I don't know what it was.
So the company's called Vanport 1948, and it has to do with the history of the African-American community over here in the Northwest. For those you don't know, it used to be illegal to be black in Portland, Oregon. You could not live in Portland. It was illegal.
Oh, wow.
You couldn't have a home. Yeah, you couldn't be married to anyone black. It was literally illegal. Just so you know, in America, Oregon was the last state to abolish slavery.
Damn, man.
The last state. And so the state so Oregon was originally built to be like a safe haven for white people. They don't really know. A lot of people don't like that, but it's true. It's fucking true. You look at all the pictures of Portland, it's mostly white people. There's very, very, very rare black people. And they made a place called Vanport. And if you think about Vancouver and Portland, that is Vanport. That's where they pushed all the black folks who were working on the trains, on the rails, on the railroads, and working on docks. And they did, so black folks. So then that place got flooded. And they had to move all the black folks, all the African-American community had to move somewhere. So they redlined. I don't know if you guys know what redlining is. Look it up. They redlined an area of Portland and pushed all the African-American community into that area. And so what I did is I did an image. I painted an image paying homage to the area where all the blacks and Asian folks in the Portland community were staying. So
all right, that's awesome, dude.
Like,
bringing light to it.
Well.
I mean, shit, history class did a poor job. I knew nothing about that.
Yeah, man, it's a.
Oh, that's dope, man. I might have to get a bottle of that.
I'll send you one. Just send me. Just after everything's said and done, send me an address. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. This was important. I guess this was pretty important. I guess there was 406 publications about this shit. I didn't know, so it went worldwide. I was like, okay. So I was excited. That's what I mean, though. I will say this. I'm gonna end with this. I told somebody recently, I consider myself pretty lucky, not just to be surrounded by the people I'm surrounded, but just to get opportunities to do shit like this, right? Most people in their lives get one opportunity to do something meaningful, one, and they either do it or they don't. I've been given multiple opportunities to do my music, to do my art, to continue being a creative person. And, I figure I consider myself pretty lucky. And So I'm trying to take it at this time where I don't squander any moment, and I just try to make the most of it, you know. And it goes back to what I was saying: creation and designing is problem solving. The problem right now is people aren't connected, and so I'm trying to design a solution for that, and that's by making music and art that can connect people. And that's pretty much what I'm trying to do.
That's awesome, brother. Well, thanks for doing this with me. I really appreciate it. I gotta let you know, man, you're a gentleman.
I know I ran, man. I'm sorry.
No,
I apologize.
That's what this is for. That's what this platform's for. I created it for that, for people to rant and get stuff out of the system. I wouldn't be doing this if there was, like, you know, limitations to it. I just want to interview the best and the most interesting, considering the things that I'm into. You know, but, you know, like, I wish the world knew more about you, and I have a feeling it will happen one day. If I can do anything about it, I will. But continue doing what you're doing, brother. I mean, continue that. I love you to death, man. Or I should say, love you to life.
You, man.
But yeah, let's do this. Once you drop the album, you know, let me know. Keep me in touch, and then.
Got you. I'll get you some exclusive I'll get you the album before it's out. I guarantee you, I'll get you the album before it's out.
Damn it,
so you can listen to a review. No, yeah, you can listen to a review, let your folks hear it, do whatever, man. Because at this point, like, I really, like you said, it's got to get out there. It's going to go out to the universe. So I'm gonna let it do its thing, and I appreciate you, man.
All right, my man. Well, have a great day, and I'll talk to you. All right, man.
Oh, real quick,
Yeah,
I got a show tonight.
Yes.
This is the first show I'm doing since Kinetic MCs. Like, it's a solo show. So, like, this is the first time I'm doing a show, and it's been over a year. It's like almost 2 years. And actually longer than that. Damn. It's like a pretty long time. So I'm pretty nervous right now. So
oh, you're good. You're good.
Put that energy out, folks. Put that energy out there. I got you.
Channel the energy here right now. Take it with you.
Yeah, I needed this tonight. So thank you.
All right, brother. Stay up, man.
All right, man.
Peace.
Peace.